And welcome to everyone to Nerd TV for a Martin Sports Truck Series simulated race here at Iowa Speedway. 200 laps here for the Truck Series to take on race number 3 of the season. And it is a beautiful race out here, at least for the weather anyways. We got 76 in the skies, 70, no, yeah, no, 72 in the sky, 76 on the track. So mid to low 70s here at Iowa. That's awesome for getting close to the summertime. So it's going to be an awesome race for you guys because the track's in great condition. And I think myself and Mr. Jason and our producer Dustin, we're all in great condition as well. Mr. Jason, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great, buddy. Besides the index here in Jersey, not doing so good here due to the Canada wildfires going on. We were at about a 331 earlier on the air quality index earlier, so hoping that everybody's staying safe in my area at least, and especially along the East Coast, staying healthy. But hey, man, we got a virtual race tonight. I know I wasn't here for the first 2 races of the season due to being sick and being in Charlotte, but here we are. 3rd race of Season B, Iowa. I absolutely love this track. Multi-groove racing. Tires get eaten up tremendously here. This is one of those abrasive surfaces on the NASCAR schedule, but obviously this is a track that NASCAR doesn't go to anymore, unfortunately. So let's all get, hopefully one day we'll get back there, but thankfully IndyCar still goes there. But hey, man, it's a short track race type, deal. I mean, 7/8 of a mile, not quite a short track in a sense. This is like if you took a mile and a half and made it really, really small. That's the best way I can put it. Flatter banking, but it's progressive banking. So it should be a really, really interesting race here tonight, and I can't wait to see it. Iowa's one of my favorite tracks to watch these virtual trucks go around.
Yeah, likewise. Every time I see Iowa pop up on the schedule, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to race this one. Or, if I got to watch a race, it's like if I see Iowa, I'm trying to tune in because progressive banking, the track's bumpy, people are slipping and sliding. There's nothing wrong with this track. There's not one thing I can see and go, this track isn't cool, or this, it's just overall just an excellent track for multiple reasons. But Dustin, I see you over there. How are you doing tonight, man?
Hey,
I'm at
a home track. You know what? That's all right. You get used to that. I'm at a home track. Iowa is one of my home tracks. Unfortunately, it seems like NASCAR keeps cutting my home track. Chicagoland's gone. Iowa's gone. They don't like me around here, I guess, but I'm like you guys. I love this track. This track the progressive banking. It's fast, multi-groove. The track configuration is great. I mean, the infield's actually set lower. I've actually been to this track in real life. It's great seating all the way around. It's a fun track to be at, and it always poses great racing. So can't wait to see what these FTSR guys have to do when they cut loose on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how RPM does here. First year seeing them in Iowa together. Cody McKinney especially just been doing excellent work across the board, and these guys, Fury Motorsports especially, they have stepped up their game here in this practice session, just running great lap times. 1st, 3rd, and 4th on the board for Fury Motorsports. And so they're looking to try to change some things up. They've noticed that they're not number 1 here as of recent on the long average. So they're here to try to do things. And for us watching the race, that's nothing but extra excitement, right? We're gonna have a lot faster trucks than what we even saw last year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it should be a really interesting concept. I mean, Fury Motorsports so far and FTSR, they've been doing great so far this season. But I mean, obviously, compared to the Mach 1 Performance Cup Series on Monday, it's been those other guys, over at RPM Motorsports. They've been doing a heck of a job. There's one guy that I'm really keeping my eye on here tonight, and looking back at the results and everything like that, the point standings for the 2 races that I haven't been here. Hopefully I don't butcher this name, but Tyler Grenat, I believe his name is, the number 81 machine. He's looking to continue his strong rookie campaign. He's coming off a 2nd and a 7th place finish here, and there he is right there sitting on pit road, not doing the best in practice right now, showing 23rd up on the leaderboard right now. But obviously practice is one thing, racing is another, and qualifying, etc. So I mean, he's going to have some work to do tonight if he wants to continue that top 10 streak. But this is a guy I look to really, really do something special here this season, especially with 2 solid finishes. I mean, 2nd and 7th. It's not easy to come out here with these FTSR boys and show them up. Richie Coy, Brody Hanna, Bobby Terrell, all these other guys. There's a lot of guys in here who could win on any given weekend, especially the Fury Motorsports guys. And we're getting ready to see qualifying happen here. It should be interesting. I can't wait to see where this 81 machine places.
Yeah, 100%. Qualifying is officially started in the session as of now. Bobby Terrell takes the checker flag for the fastest time in practice. Let's see how this translates for him in qualifying here. As we watch the guys get on the track, we're going to see who we can ride on board with. Typically like to aim for your fastest truck, and there's Bobby Terrell. He gets on track early. We're going to be able to ride on board with the number 4 Ford F-150 as he goes around the 7/8 mile facility.
Yeah, we'll have to see right here. Looking at the aerial shot. Now back to the onboard here. This is going to be a little bit of an issue here. I'm pretty sure that we're going to be going green when the lights are probably fully on and there's no, sun coming out or anything like that. But you can just see how abrasive, how slick this surface is. You want to get down to that bottom, but don't get too low, because if you get too low right there, you really get squirrely. You can lose the back end off 2. You see Bobby Terrell get a little bit loose there off turn number 2. Turns 3 and 4, you could probably make the most ground up. You see how shaded it is. It's going to be a little bit cooler right there in qualifying. And Bobby Terrell hits the wall. Oh, no. The fastest truck in practice. Oh, my goodness.
And that's it. He was already under green flag there, I think, right?
Yeah,
so
he was.
Yeah, so that's going to end it for him. I think he's going to be able to get back on track, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. Well, maybe. I think he's still considered on lap 1. So he might have a lap 2 effort here. But now, since he's restarting his lap, Sherwood Williford in the 33, we're going to be on board with this Chevy Silverado as he's running the bottom lane again, which early run, Jason, the inside lane seems to be the fastest. He actually pulls a 23.14, finishes in second as he pulls down Richie Coy. We just go to him as he completed his fastest lap. But Brody Hanna takes over 22.92.
And these Fury Motorsports guys tonight, Jeremy, they are going to be ones to beat. Every time we go to these short track type esque tracks, they are always fast. You're looking at one of our onboards tonight, presented by iRock 93.5. Ryan Chapman had a tough night on Monday. We saw him rage quit. You heard him. He was like, "God damn it!" in the virtual cockpit. He had enough of it. That thing was snapping loose. Hopefully tonight he's reset. He's had a day to just relax, calm down a little bit. He knows this is a totally different track, totally different setup. Obviously, this is the truck compared to the car. So maybe he'll be able to do something right now. Top 5 on the board right now for Mr. Chapman out of Westbrook, Connecticut. So hopefully he can do something here tonight in that number 27 machine. He is looking to rebound after a very, very tough night at Worldwide Technology Raceway on Monday for the Mach 1 Performance Cup.
I think this track's going to suit Ryan Chapman just fine. With the multi-groove, especially in 3 and 4, you can run the wall, run the inside painted line. Whatever your truck needs, it is available to you. As we're on board now with Austin Gassion. He's out here on, I think it's his first lap right now. No, second lap rather. He's coming through 3 and 4 now. Runs right down to the bottom, which is very, very common here for your opening laps. The high side kicks in about 10-15 laps in. Coming to the line to end the second lap, and
that's Marshall Johnson
to a 23.291, puts him in 14th.
Yeah, that's not a bad run. I mean, for the amount of trucks we have here tonight, that's about mid-pack right now. But here we go. This is the driver. I don't know if he's just finishing up his lap right now. As Tyler Grennett right there in the 81 machine. He 21st on the board, so that was his lap right there. Man, oh man, Tyler's got to figure out something to do with that truck here tonight, make some adjustments throughout the race. He struggled in practice, and right now he's struggling in qualifying, currently 21st on the board. He's third to last right now on all the guys who have gone so far. We still have Tommy Schaefer, Brandon Elder, Mark Brannigan Jr., and Curtis Vollmer right now who haven't qualified, but it looks like qualifying is coming to an end here in about a minute, so they're going to have a minute to get out there. But right now, it's looking like these two Fury Motorsports guys, they dominated last season. Here they are again, showing up in Season B. They're ready to go here tonight. That's Brody Hanna, Bobby Terrell, Richie Coy, all those guys.
Yeah, top 3, all Fury. Then the 4th guy, Mr. Tony Solari, the one that kind of helps them build setups on the short tracks and the flatter surfaces. He didn't do too hot there, running P16 in that number 11 machine. We got a half a minute left in this qualifying session, Jason. There's only 4 trucks that have not taken time. That's Tommy Schaefer, Brannigan, Curtis Vollmer, and Brandon Elder. And I think those guys are just going to sit it out. So as it stands, I think this is going to be our official starting order here for tonight's Iowa 200. Gonna jump to the chats. I see Matt Keach in there saying, "Hey boys, what's up, Matt? How's it going? Glad you're tuning in here." If you kind of noticed, if for any of you Twitch watchers, Twitch is not currently up at the moment. Simulcasting currently down. Hopefully that gets reversed. So we're going to bring it to you on 2 platforms and even Kick. I think we got it on kick.com. It's a newer platform. So if you want to join the Nerditudes over there at kick.com, it's also a streaming services that doesn't give you like as many restrictions on what you can and can't do. So feel free to subscribe to our page over there. But it is race time, Jason. We're going to go down the starting order here for tonight's 27 truck lineup for the Iowa 200. As these guys are taking the grid, Brody Hanna is going to come through P1. Bobby Terrell going to be on his outside in second place. Richie Coy is going to start in third. Marshall Johnson coming through strong here on a fourth place start. Cody McKinney, your points leader, going to be starting in fifth. Ryan Chapman, sixth. Sherwood Williford, seventh. Lane Allen going to be starting in eighth. P9 belongs to Stephen Loomis, and tonight's 10th place truck, James Torrey.
20, you got Michael Blackner in the number 22 machine starting 11th. Tyler Brown, strong last season, looking to continue that momentum this season. He'll start 12th. 13th, John Paul Burns in the number 99. 14th is Joey McKinney in the 18 machine. 15th, Austin Gassion in the 41 machine. 16th, fellow Fury Motorsports driver Tony Solari in the number 11. 17th, Sylvain Jolly in the 08 machine, looking to continue some strong runs he had like last season. 18th, TJ Bartel in the 75. 19th, Kyle Milliken in the 42 machine. And rounding out the top 20, Richard Tucker in the number 83.
21st, Tyler Granat. 22nd, Alan Duranco. 23rd place, Justin Diltz. Then the last 4 did not qualify, so they are sorted by their I rating, which is Mark Brannigan Jr., Tommy Schaefer, Curtis Vollmer, and Brandon Elder will appear tonight's last truck on the grid, P27. And if you notice there, you're looking from the back angle of Brody Hanna, you see a Hellman's yellow hood. That's Richie Coy. He's pulling exactly what our producer Dustin does in our Sunday League we run. Drives a Ford, but runs a Dale Jr. Chevrolet Skin that's coming up later this year at Bristol. So, new colors tonight for the 19.
Yeah, it's always odd because Richie Coy, we're so used to seeing him in the Martin Sports 19 truck and then in the Mach 1 Performance Cup. You're used to seeing him in the 19 DeWalt Ford Mustang. This year, it looks like an Advanced Auto Parts Ford Mustang for him, so he's going with the Ryan Blaney look. Favorable because I love Blaney. And here we go. This year, I don't know if he's been changing up the last couple weeks, but he's running that Dale Jr. Bristol scheme that he'll be running later on this year in the Xfinity Series. But no doubt, regardless of the paint scheme, that 19, always going to be fast.
100% there is we're going to be one more lap, and these things will go green flag for 200 laps here, 200 miles, which is not really 200 miles because the track is less than a mile length, but that's fine there. I'm expecting a lot of shifting around lap 15 to lap 20. I think that's where the best racing is going to be on this short stint. It's going to be a stage break at lap 50. So after that, I got about 145 laps or so when they go back to green flag to settle out stage 2. I think this is going to be a really good, strong stage 1 for not only the guys on the track to figure out what they have, but us viewers watching this event. It's going to be a fun one, Jason.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun one. And, for the first time viewers watching a race here at Iowa, it's a shame that if you never watched a real race at Iowa, well, you better tune in for when the IndyCar Series goes to Iowa because that is always a great race. Sadly, NASCAR doesn't come here anymore. Hopefully they'll be back someday. But, hey, we still got the FTSR boys. They're ready to put on a show. 200 laps, stage break at lap 50. We're ready to tangle here.
Green flag is out. We are underway. Brody and Bobby Terrell get a decent start here. Even with the 19 of Richie Coy, I think they counted each other down being on the same channel. They pull out a little bit of a distance there. No, the 4 had to check up there in the center of 1 and 2. He's going to be side by side with the 19. That's going to allow the 23 of Brody Hanna to get 3 truck lengths ahead.
Right now, Jeremy's just going to be fighting and clawing for track position until those tires start to wear out here in about 15 to 20 laps. You see still side by side right now. That's the battle for the third podium spot. That's Marshall Johnson, Richie Coy. They're side by side, followed behind them with Ryan Chapman, Cody McKinney. They're single filing out here down the back straightaway, but still side by side between the 9 and the 19 as they head into 3.
You're going to see a lot of side-by-side here tonight with that progressive banking around a short track. This is the only track, I think, other than Bristol, that has progressive banking that's less than a mile in length, and it produces some awesome racing. This track being much flatter, too, than Bristol, of course. There's a lot more tire wear involved, a lot of slipping and sliding. There's a lot of bumps on this surface. You're seeing right now they're 3 wide almost there for second, third, and fourth. And looking on back here, the 14 of Lane Allen, the 22 of Blackner, the 00 Tyler Brown. They're also putting on a pretty good race here all the way through the field. You're seeing a couple of clusters of trucks that are just multiple rows, 2 by 2 by 2.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, this is what you're going to see all night long. You're never really going to see anybody get single file out. You're seeing everybody jump up all the way from the top to the middle to the bottom of the racetrack. That's the 83, Richard Tucker. He was all the way up against the wall. You're seeing the 29 machine right now, Tommy Schaefer, right on the rear tailgate of Justin Diltz as he works his way out of 4. Here comes Brandon Elder. He's looking to try to make a run on the 41 machine of Austin Gassion. They are all over this racetrack right now. And Jeremy, we talked about the progressive banking. I want to say, just like I said in pre-race, this is a track. It's like if you took a mile and a half and made it really small. This is like if you took a mile and a half and made it have a baby with Richmond, because that's the way that this is. 7/8 of a mile, considerably a short track, but races like a mile and a half. We have our first caution of the night presented by Roasted Gems. We're going to have to see what happened here.
Early caution on lap number 6, and it looks like it involves the 42 of Kyle Milliken. One of those guys I was thinking he'd have a pretty good night tonight, but we're going to see him. He's going through 3 and 4, and he just loses the rear end. It kicks out. He almost saves it, but when he got to the very end of the corner exit, it just looped and right in front of some traffic. So the iRacing officials said, enough's enough. We're going to throw out this caution early on lap 6.
And that really, Jeremy, is just a product of that bottom side. I talked about it in qualifying when we were watching Bobby Terrell. You don't want to get too low and get back to the throttle. There's still a little bit of throttle control that is necessary here at this virtual Iowa Speedway, both in real and here on the virtual side. You really got to take it easy. That right rear, if you get on the throttle way too early, it's going to catch around and it's just going to have no traction whatsoever off the corners. You see a lot of guys usually having a lot of issues in the center of 1 and 2, but usually as well off turn number 4, and that's unfortunately what you saw happen to Kyle Milliken. Just a little bit too much mustard, what they usually say, and unfortunately he looped it around. Thankfully, no damage. He'll be able to continue. No harm, no foul, but those tires are definitely screaming right now, and they want to be changed.
Yeah, we're the banking on the bottom is only 12 degrees, and you're doing over 120 miles an hour, so it's just you're relying a lot on the tire, the mechanical grip side, to keep you straight. But I think since we're early on this caution and not many people have pitted, I'm going to try to bring in our in-race reporter here, Mr. Ryan Chapman. Let's see if I can grab him for a quick word. Ryan Chapman, this is Jeremy in the Nerd TV booth. You have a copy?
I do, guys. How you doing?
Hey, man, we're doing pretty good. That truck looks pretty good overall, I would say. That was a short little 6-lap stint. What are you feeling so far in that truck?
I'm feeling comfortable, man. We're just really trying to hit that outside because it seems like that's where the truck likes to be. And we're just cruising around the outside, just riding, trying to pass and trying to get up here. Because, after Worldwide, we disappointed a lot of people. So we're trying to get back on that top 10 streak and just get our hopes back up and just keep on going and try to help this elevated esports team move up the rankings and hopefully get some more guys in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know you're trying to recoup and do well here, and I think this is a track that's going to suit you very well. You kind of answered my other question of what your strategy was going to look like. You said you're going to go to the top side. I figured so as much for your machine there. What's stage 1 going to look for you? Is it going to be just kind of get to the front as quick as you can, or do you think you're going to try to manage that tire saving for the long haul for stage 2?
I just wanted to get up here a little more, just get up in third, second, just kind of chill around Brody and Richie a little more. But yeah, now we're just going to try to chill out, just try to ride around, have some fun, and put on a show for you guys.
All right, man. Well, appreciate your time. I'm going to move you back down, and good luck here for the remainder of the race.
Thank you, guys. Look forward to chatting with you guys more.
That was number 27, Mr. Ryan Chapman, and that camera there was presented by iRock 93.5. thanks to them for allowing us to do that for you guys. Kind of cool that we're bringing that back for 2023. It's been a long time, close to a year since we used that camera last, and great feature to bring on for you guys.
Yeah, and that's the great thing too, Jeremy. You get to see these drivers in action. You know, we've seen him, we've seen Joshua Johnson, I believe, if I'm correct, the other night too. I mean, it's just cool to see. Yeah, we've seen Richie Coy in the past as well. It's always awesome to see these guys at their homes with their sim rigs, how comfortable they are. And I tell you what, man, we talked about those Martin sports gloves that Ryan Chapman's got. He probably had to wash them after Monday night, and that's probably why he's got so much speed, because they're not as sweaty and they're ready to go. And, oh, what's this? I thought the 23 was coming to pit road right there. That was, and I guess that's just messing around right there. But I thought we were going green this time. It turns out we weren't.
That's called boredom right there. For some reason, we have 4 laps of pacing here at a short track. So it's good if you have a lot of damage, but early on lap 6, when no one's hurt, 4 laps of pacing is quite... it could cause some boredom. That's probably what the 23 was doing. It goes, hey guys, I'm a pit. Psych. Obviously, no one's going to bite onto that because now they're on the white flag, so to speak, before they go back to green flag here. That's going to continue on lap 12. It's going to leave 38 laps for the remainder of stage 1.
Yeah, and this is going to be a shootout here. You know, you're only going to have about 39 laps before, you know, the stage ends. So a track position is going to be key. You want to make sure you're able to pass very quickly, very early, take advantage of those somewhat fresh tires. You've had time to cool them off, but now you're about to put a heat cycle on them, so they're going to wear out in a hurry here as we're coming to the green flag.
Pace car is down. I don't know why the pace car always takes an abrupt turn. I guess he's bored out there too, but green flag is out. Brody and everybody else all basically have an equal restart here. 23 is going to be able to clear his teammate, the Ford Terrell, going through turns 1 and 2. He's going to be able to cut back up to the top, but here comes Chapman. We just talked to him. He prefers the Highland, it sounds like, but right now being on the bottom, his truck looks pretty stout early on.
Yeah, everybody right now looks pretty stout. Some drivers falling back, some drivers picking up a lot of spots. I'm looking at the SDK Gaming live timing as you're looking on board with Ryan Chapman, continuing to pick off spots here on these Fury Motorsports guys. This SDK live timing scoring leaderboard I got going on is going all over the place. Drivers shifting around, going 1 spot, 2 spot, 3 spot, going up, going down. Man, there's passing all over this racetrack. That's the great thing about Iowa. But I tell you what, here, Jeremy, Ryan Chapman might be a contender to try to win this stage, and he might just be able to take it away from the Fury Motorsports guys. He's already passed 2 of them, and he's looking to pass a 3rd one as he's closing in on Brody Hanna for the lead.
Yeah, these 2 guys in particular would like to be the early favorites here, but as the long haul comes into play, we'll see who's going to cycle back, who's going to cycle forward. Only time will tell there, but early on in this top 10, basically all single filed out. The racing is really now set in the back here, especially just outside top 10. We got 4 rows, essentially 2 by 2 by 2 here. Sylvain Jolly in the 08, the 14, Elaine Allen, those are going to lead this little gaggle of trucks here.
Yeah, and they're all just side by side. You obviously see that the front 8 guys pretty much have gotten single file and all the way back to about Steve Loomis, Tyler Brown. You see Michael Blackner side by side with Tyler Brown. Tyler had a good run at Martinsville, I believe, last season here in the Martin Sports Truck Series. So this is a short track type of racetrack. So maybe he can do something here tonight, try to hook up his truck good enough. He's already up 1 spot from where he started. There's actually a couple guys that I'm having my eye on right now who continue to move their way up through the field, taking advantage of these tires, taking advantage of the abrasive surface and the multi-groove racing. That's Sylvain Jolly. He's up 7 spots from where he started. He's currently 10th. You have TJ Bartel up 5. He's currently 13th. Tommy Schaefer, 16th. He's up 9. And Brandon Elder is up 9 now. He is currently sitting in the 18th spot. So everybody really moving around all over this racetrack, Jeremy, trying to find every piece of real estate that they can get to get that valuable track position here as we're closing down. The laps are winding down. This is going to be a little bit of a sprint here to the end of the stage at lap 50.
The 99 of JP Burns really trying to extend the track out early. He's in that purple, blue, black, and somewhat yellow Ford F-150 there. He hit the bump really hard. If you have not raced at Iowa, there's a huge bump in between 1 and 2, mainly more so in 1. And it can really shift whatever you're driving up the track. It makes it really tight. But it looks like JP is actually able to utilize that bump. It actually helps rotate the truck. And he's able to get a great turn, too. He just, came across some trucks that are currently still side by side, so it's really blocking any type of momentum he's getting. But I'm really impressed at how the 99 is utilizing turn 1 to his advantage there.
Yeah, we're actually riding on board with him right now. Perfect camera angles from Dustin. You're going to see him right here as he's going to rip that top lane. Here's a bump coming up right here. Another one right there. So, yeah, definitely helping that truck rotate through the center a little bit. And you see him right now to the outside of Tony Solari, Fear Motorsports driving that number 11 in Menards Ford F-150. He'll shoot all the way to the bottom, nearly getting in right there to Tommy Schaefer off turn number 4. These guys are continuing to be side by side, just nowhere to go right now for the 99. Currently just trying to ride around and hopefully pick up a few spots right now. You're seeing Brandon Elder continuing to slice his way through this field in that number 51 machine. He's looking to the inside and trying to pick off not 1 but 2 spots. He now looks to the inside of James Torrey as well.
We remain on board here around this section of the track because the top 10 have all single filed out. This is the most interesting part of the race right now. Currently on lap 22 of 200, and I knew this was going to be a good race around this point, but the way these guys are continuing to stay side by side for so long, it's just really impressed me up to this point. Also, what's impressive, Jason, is Brandon Elder, that 51 that you're seeing there just on the right-hand side of your screen, that silver Chevy Silverado. He started 27th. He's in 16th right now. This guy's not known, or not like, we don't see him each week in and week out passing a bunch of trucks, but this guy's almost drove through halfway through the field, not even 25 laps in.
Yeah, Brandon is one of those guys where he's kind of a hit or miss driver, and that's not an offensive thing to say to him. That's actually a really good thing. And as you see the 6 right there of James Torrey nearly brushes the wall off the corner. Thankfully, he doesn't. But back to Brandon Elder, and he's kind of a hit or miss driver. You go to a track he's not very familiar with, or maybe doesn't really have too many laps on, he kind of struggles. But then a track here like Iowa, maybe he put in some practice time, maybe he's got a good setup, maybe he likes this track a lot, maybe he's run a lot of open, a lot of fixed stuff here on iRacing when the official races came along. That's why he's doing so well. He's actually about to pick off his 12th spot as he goes to the inside of Tony Solari, Tyler Brown, and also Tommy Schaefer. That's a 2-for-1 special right there off turn number 2. They are continuing to be side by side. Just great action all the way around this racetrack here. And this is probably the best battle on the racetrack, is this gaggle of traffic right here from the 29 all the way back to, I believe that is the 83 of Richard Tucker. So these guys all battling for every single piece of real estate as they work their way through 1 and 2 and heading down the backstretch.
That even motivated the 99 of JP Burns. He did the same thing at the very next corner in 3 and 4. He picked off the 00 and the 11 just like that on the bottom. Drove it in deep, passed both, slid up in front of him on corner exit. So 2 trucks passing multiple trucks in one single set of corners. Pretty impressive stuff there. That's going to move Brandon Elder to 14th. JP Burns, he started in 13th, so he's trying to make some ground up. But right now, that fast mover, that 51 of Brandon, he was also fast in practice too. So it's not a total surprise, but the way he doesn't qualify often, if ever, right? So just to see him go through this traffic and not really be affected by any type of tire wear so far, 28 laps into this event, really good stuff to see. And Diane Chapman, she's here to cheer on Ryan tonight, saying boogity, boogity, boogity. And we're doing that for 200 laps here at Iowa, and this is going to be a great race from flag to flag.
Yeah, well, Ryan was second at one point, currently sitting 5th. He's about 1 spot up from where he started. He did start 6th here tonight, but still a solid truck. He said earlier, we talked to him, Jeremy. Well, you talked to him there under the pace laps from our first Roasted Gems caution, and he was just saying that, he liked the handling of the truck. He was having fun, but now he's got some wear on his tires, so maybe his truck isn't really set up for the middle to long run type race. I mean, you see right now, he's currently under fire from the 33 and the 9 right behind him. And Sherwood was a driver in practice who was very strong, had a good qualifying run. Here he is right now in that Kevin Harvick Chevy Rock and Roll 400 throwback with Taz on the car, Looney Tunes. He's having a great run here tonight. He's probably going to pick off Ryan Chapman here in just a second.
Yeah, Sherwood's always that long run guy. And for him to be this fast on lap 30, expect this guy to just be up front doing some work for sure. It's going to move him into 5th place as soon as he gets around this 27. So move the 33 up into the top 5. He's half a truck away from doing it. He's going to run to 3 and 4, which I find 3 and 4, the middle to upper groove, seems to be the faster end for me. But it really all depends on how your setup is. And Brian Chapman actually drives a little too deep on corner X. It had a lift for the wall, and that allowed the 33 to fully clear him. And now the 9 there of Marshall Johnson trying to get around the 27.
Yeah, actually, looking at the lap times right now, Ryan Chapman was the slowest driver on the racetrack that last time around. He ran up 24.8 compared to most other drivers running in the 0.4 to 0.6 bracket. Seen other guys almost flirting right towards the 0.8 bracket in the 24-second. And again, the 24.803 that last time around for Ryan Chapman. So definitely not a truck that handles very solidly on the middle to long runs like I just said beforehand. So definitely going to have to make an adjustment if I were him, maybe sacrifice some short run speed for some long run speed. But that's the thing, though, Jeremy. This racetrack, with how racy it is, you never know. It could be a long run. It could be a short run. Heck, you could have a race go green all the way. Like, once we get to this stage caution here, after lap 50 when the top 10 cross the line, you could see a green flag run all the way from the start of stage 2 all the way to the second to last lap, and the next thing you know, we have a caution. That's just the unpredictability that Iowa Speedway provides. It races like a short track. It is a short track, but it's got that 1.5 mile progressive racetrack to it. As you see, 4 trucks almost get together right there. Tommy Schaefer, J.P. Burns, Steve Loomis, Tony Solari. They were neck and neck pretty much, single file off turn number 4 right there. They nearly had a huge issue. You could just see the tires are starting to wear out tremendously. The 99 was sliding at it too. The 17, the 29, everybody's struggling with lack of grip right now here as they work on lap 36.
Yeah, no surprise here. A lot of these trucks you're watching now have been side by side for over 2/3 of this stage. So to see the tire wear coming into play for these guys in particular, not too surprising. But we're seeing that shift. We're seeing the 51 who drove through so many trucks to get to where he was, up to 14th at his highest point. He has now dropped back 2 spots to 16th and continue to slides back slowly here. But, I mean, we got the end of stage coming up in 14 laps. So it's not going to be the end of the world. He's going to be in a better spot than what he was at the start of this race for sure. But, yeah, we're seeing a lot of trucks even further on back continue to get sideways.
Yeah, there's a bunch of drivers right now who just can't wait to see the stage caution at lap 51, 50, and to come in, make some adjustments, get 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. I mean, there is drivers who are right now really down in the ditches right now. I mean, James Torrey has lost 14 spots from where he started. Tyler Brown, we were just talking about how strong he is on the short tracks, and I said it, he might have a good run tonight. He is second to last right now. He is the last car on the lead lap, back by 16 seconds. I don't know if something happened, but right now he is the slowest car on the racetrack. He's the only one that has reached that 25-second bracket along with James Torrey in the 6th. So maybe something did happen to those guys, and maybe that's why James Torrey, Richard Tucker, and Tyler Brown are so far back. But those guys cannot wait to see a yellow here once we get to lap 50.
Yeah, really surprising for that 00. He started 12th, and then he's back 14 spots there in 26. Really far off the pace. So I wonder if something more happened to him other than just, the massive tire wear. He's continuing to get loose. But on the action here, the 42 Milliken, you usually see this guy on the top half of the track when there is a multi-groove surface. But right now, he's trying to pick some positions off of the bottom. There's just so many trucks right now. When the tire wear goes down and you have a progressive banking, the banking just helps you rotate so much better. So you're seeing a lot of these guys move up the track, very natural, every single time you race at a multi-groove track, whether it's here, Kansas, Bristol. It just helps the truck so much, and so you have to make moves on the bottom. So you have to build your setup to accommodate that just in case you get stuck and you have to make some passes. Almost like a leapfrog effect, really, as you try to, what was that, the number
81.
10 there, or 81 there, getting really loose there in front of this small amount of trucks and really bobbing them up, and now we're going to go 3 wide through 201 and 2.
Hey, you notice something, Jeremy? We talk about these guys were getting single file up at the front. They have not gotten single file mid to back of the pack here, and we are already 43 laps in. We're closing into the end of this stage here, and Brody Hanna, he is actually being chased down right now by Bobby Terrell. You see right there, little bit loose goes, I believe that is the 98 machine.
Correct.
If I'm correct. Yeah, that's Mark Brannigan Jr., one of the rookies this season in that number 48 F-150. Everybody is struggling with a lack of grip right now. And, I mean, we might be having a battle here for the stage win coming up here. Brody Hanna is actually being chased down by Bobby Terrell right now. The gap was about 0.5 of a second. It has been closed down to almost 0.2 of a second. You see Bobby Terrell working that outside lane, probably really comfortable, shifting down to the middle to get the runs off the corner, but Brody Hanna just trying everything he can do to carry the momentum into the corners and to save just enough tire in case he needs to defend Bobby Terrell. And he's probably going to have to defend him here pretty soon, I have to imagine, because we're coming to 5 laps to go in the stage, and that 4 is hauling the mail right now. Both him and the 23 pretty equal on speed, but in case anything happens to those guys, they get side by side. Richie Coy and Cody McKinney, the winner from Charlotte, they are right there to pounce in case anything happens.
Yeah, basically running identical lap times, and since they're teammates, that, you know, makes more sense here. Still not used to seeing the 19 in a blue and yellow truck, but he's doing a great job maintaining. Of course, right behind them, Cody McKinney, your points leader. No surprise to see him inside the top 5. I feel like he's got a little extra work to do on this pit stop coming up in 4 laps to get that truck just a touch faster. You know, maybe make a small spring adjustment, do some small air pressure adjustments, nothing drastic, just to kind of fine-tune that machine, because right now Fury Motorsports has it dialed in, at least for stage 1. And I want to jump to the chats real quick. Jeff Brown saying, great broadcast, guys. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you very much. Glad to see you in the chats here watching. Hopefully you're enjoying what you're watching.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's enjoying what they're watching right now. I mean, we got battles all over this racetrack right now. I tell you what, we talk about Cody McKinney and how he's really just trying, you know, to defend and really attack these Fury Motorsports guys. Cody is really strong off the corners, and I don't mean that as like an exaggeration. I mean, he is really good off the corners. He just can't get the momentum to get to the bottom or to the top of Richie Coy as we're approaching here to the end of the stage. There's a lot of guys who are fighting for positions right now. You're looking at, I believe that's Michael Blackner, Sylvain Jolly, and TJ Bartel. So this is for some stage points. This is from 7th all the way back to 9th. They are battling side by side here, and you're seeing Sylvain trying to work his way to the inside of the racetrack on TJ Bartel. Bartel rips it right up against the cushion pretty much on the outside lane. He's going to have the momentum down the front straightaway here. This is the last lap of the stage. Maybe he'll be able to pick up some points. We'll have to see here as they're working the way off too.
As they're doing that, Brody Hanna's going through 3 and 4 for the final time of stage 1, and caution is out before the leader gets to the line. So this is not a natural caution. This is from a wreck that happened somewhere on the track, but this is going to be the end of stage regardless here, as we're trying to figure out exactly what happened there on the track. But actually, I think I found it there off coming off turn number 4. Yeah, the 17 of Steve Loomis came up into the nose there. It looks like of, was that the 40?
Richard Tucker and Tyler Brown. Oh, yeah.
Richard Tucker, yeah, there we go.
He just comes right up into him right there. We'll have to take another look at the replay, possibly. I don't know if the 17 just got loose, came up, maybe thought he was clear. But we're going to take another look here at the Nerd TV replay. We're rewinding it back. You see the 17 right here off the corner in slow-mo. You see the 83. He's got a really good run off the corner sideways. And the 17, it's so hard to tell from this angle. Yeah, he just comes right up into the 83. Probably thought he was clear. Unfortunately, takes him and the 83 of Richard Tucker into the wall. Great heads-up driving by James Torrey and also the 91 of Justin Diltz to get to the bottom of the racetrack and void that. That's heavy damage to Richard Tucker's car on the right-hand side. That's heavy nose damage and right front fender damage on Steve Loomis's number 17.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. And as you guys are going down pit road, this is our time to kick it over to our first picture-in-picture commercial break. Be back with you guys shortly before the drop of the green flag. And actually, we're going to go over one more view here of James Torrey with that awesome heads-up driving to dip it down low right at the last minute there. Because I don't think anyone expected the wreck right there to happen. So for the 6 to be that heads-up, nice driving there. But yeah, we're going to kick it over to picture-picture now. Be back shortly. And back to full screen coverage here is we got, I think, a lap and a quarter before we're going to go back to green flag action here. Is we're going to go over our Nerd TV Top 10 recap. 23 Brody Hanna doing the same thing that Richie just did at Gateway, start to finish so far, taking every single lap in first place. Second place, Bobby Terrell, his teammate, basically the same scenario. Starting in second, it's going to be restarting in second at this point. Richie Coy, third to third, no movement there really. Cody McKinney up 1 spot. He's going to be now restarting in fourth. Sherwood Williford up 2 spots. He's going to be starting in fifth. Marshall Johnson still hanging in there just outside the top 5 right now. Doing a pretty impressive job here overall for that 9 truck. One of the biggest movers, TJ Bartell, started 18th. Going to be restarting this thing in 7th. Michael Blackner up also 3 spots for him. He's in the number 22 truck. Sylvain Jolly, another mover, up 8 spots. Started 17th. Now he's up to 9th. And then Lane Allen down 2 spots. Currently going to be restarting in 10th. So that's going to be your Nerd TV Top 10 recap. 27, Ryan Chapman. He's a notable one. He's down 6 spots. Started 6th. Going to be restarting at 12th. Let's see if he can recover and get this thing back to the front. But green flag is out. We are underway for stage number 2 on lap 56. And these 3 starts up to this point, Jason, have just been really solid for everybody there. There's a little hiccup actually on the bottom between the 75 and the 08. They quickly resolve that. Side by side, all the way through the back stretch, except for your race leader.
Yeah, I tell you what, Brody Hanna, he may have been clear right there, Bobby Terrell and Richie Coy, but he did not get the restart that he has the last 2 times we've had a caution, or 1 time, whatever it was. He is really still right there in the clutches of Bobby Terrell, and he is there to pounce in case anything happens between Brody Hanna. Also want to mention one thing here for this race. You notice I talked about how we weren't going to have a lot of sun. It was going to be cloud covered. Sun's going down. Weather right now, partly cloudy, and the track temp is only a few degrees more than what it is. It says 73 for me, but right now you're looking at 75-degree track temperature. That is very cool. I know that's pretty mildly, it's warm outside. It's like, having a nice 75-degree beach day. But, I mean, for 75 degrees for a track temp, that is super cool. And it's only going to get cooler, Jeremy, as this night progresses with the sun going down more and more and the temperature dropping due to the night.
I love when people set the races to start in the daytime and end of the night. I just love the visuals alone. I know it plays some strategy into the race because the track does change quite a bit. So I didn't really think about that, talk about it in the pre-race, but yeah, they guys have to adjust for that nighttime grip. That speed's going to be different. So will the trucks tighten up too much? Do they have it set up for that? Of course, only time will tell when the sun officially goes down and the lights turn on and whatnot. But yeah, I just love the visuals of it. It's so cool. Ooh, the 29 of Schaefer save.
What a save.
Man, he drifted all of turn 2, but right now it's going to put him in a 3-wide predicament here as Ryan Chapman on the bottom and looks like Brandon Elder on the top. 29 gets around the 51, but they're still side by side between him and Ryan. I think Ryan's going to get him through 1.
Yeah, what a great save by Tommy Schaefer right there. That truck was pretty much gone, and that was really all because of, I believe, one of the bumps in 1 and 2. And you see Chapman just barely slide across the nose of Tommy Schaefer there on the exit of turn number 2. Multi-groove racing all around this racetrack. But that was really, I think, a product. Maybe we can kick it back to a replay here in just a second or two. I think Tommy Schaefer hit one of the bumps there in the center of 1 and 2, and he was trying to head down the racetrack, get that arc, that diamond effect, if you would say, and he just kind of started to lose it, but got out of throttle, did a really good job, heads-up driving by Tommy Schaefer to not loop it around right there in front of the whole field.
The only thing, negative about that is this: if they go a really long green flag run, he's already used up a lot of that tire, trying to save it all through turn 2, and we're going to kick it back here. This is right after the fact as they went 3 wide here. We're going to do a little rewind as we're coming back through turn 2, then 1, and then you're going to see he's doing a little crossover. He's already up top here. He's going to hit that upper groove bump, as you mentioned. There's the bump there, and yeah, I think you nailed it on the head there. As soon as he went across those bumps, that thing just kicked sideways, but an excellent save there.
I'd love to see the in-car cockpit cam if we can, Mr. Dustin. If we could see that 29 machine save that thing, because I know for a fact he was out of throttle, probably just wheeling that thing like he was Kenny Wallace in a dirt car. I mean, that was heads up driving by him here. And here we go. Helmet cam. You're looking right now, heading into one. You're going to see this truck. It's going to bounce once. Coming up right there. Then twice. Starts to loop it right there. He's dirt tracking it, baby. Yeah, I don't know if he thought he was at Bristol Dirt or what here, but he did a hell of a job there saving that truck. And, I mean, just one of the heads up driving. One of the best saves here tonight. And hopefully that's going to be the last we'll see of Tommy Schaefer trying to save this truck here tonight.
I appreciate Dustin working extra hard here as Jason is putting him to work.
Oh, yeah, baby.
All the different angles from this little incident there, but or moment, I should say. It wasn't really an incident, but I think he was able to gather it and still maintaining pace. He got the tires cooled down, and now we're back to, trying to focus on what's ahead of you. But, right, almost had some contact between the 83 and the 41 off of turn 4. I was about to say, everybody is really single filed out at this point in this race. This is a long stage 2, so you can't do the stage 1 side by side like they were doing. So very natural then to do that. Really spaced out as you can get the track map here on the top left-hand side of your screen, presented by iRacing iFlag. The whole front stretch is already taken up. We only went green flag 10 laps ago, right? And so a quarter of the track is already completely used up. And as we get another 20 laps or so into this run, expect most of this track to be used up all at the same time.
Had an uh-oh moment. I had to hold my breath for a second because that 99 or the 98 machine right there, that's Mark Brannigan Jr., another one of the rookies. He slid right up and almost got into the left rear quarter panel of Steve Loomis there just a lap or two ago, and he was able to save it. Steve went down to the bottom, tried the crossover move, didn't work, and the 98 went right back by him. What a piece of driving by Mark Brannigan Jr. and also Steve Loomis in the 17 machine. Everybody so far here tonight has been doing such a great job at utilizing the multi-groove surface on this asphalt here at the 7/8 of a mile Iowa Speedway. Great racing all around. I cannot wait to see what the finish is going to be like as we're approaching halfway.
Yeah, I would imagine the field run's going to be about 70 laps. They're probably going to halfway cut this stage if they can make it 75, which that sounds like a stretch to me, but it is a shorter track. And these guys have surprised me with their field runs already since we started broadcasting FTSR. But I'm going to keep my eye on this race lead here for a moment. It is still really close between the 23 and the 4. The 4, I think, is just a little bit faster right now, but it almost looked like toward the very end of that stage 1, Brody was faster than Bobby on the long run. So I think Bobby's going to want to try to lead at least a lap to get a point lead. But overall, I think the 23 is still just a touch bit faster on the long haul.
Yeah, probably. I mean, maybe the 23 was just saving his tires a little bit there towards the run. Look at these guys sliding into the corners. I mean, they are practically approaching a dirt entry at Eldora or Bristol Dirt here as you ride on board the 4 of Bobby Terrell, trying his best right now to get to Brody Hanna. That last time by, Bobby was about 0.03 of a second faster than Brody. These guys have been swapping lap times back and forth. So both of these guys are pretty even. We're not really going to see, who's going to be really the better truck until you get to that long run part. I mean, we've only run a little bit over 20 laps since the green. So obviously tire wear is playing a factor. I mean, we have pretty much, as I'm looking at the lap times, we have fallen off just almost a second from where we were. Some guys have already fallen off over a second. Some guys are just under a second. Some guys are even with a second. So, I mean, everybody's kind of varying with lap times depending on their setup, depending on the way that they're managing their tires. But these guys are duking it out for the lead here. This is going to be the first battle for the lead really all night long. Bobby Terrell is right there to pounce on Brody Hanna. He just can't get to him right there. That last time around, 0.04 of a second faster than Brody Hanna. He's trying to work that bottom. I genuinely think if Bobby Terrell is going to get around the 23, he's going to have to work that top side. But Brody is just taking his line away, nearly gets into the back of that F-150 tailgate off turn number 4. Brody puts the power down. He's scooting away from Bobby Terrell as he works his way into 1.
I thought Brody was going to hit the wall after 4. I thought he had put too much throttle into that on corner exit, but he did not. I think there's a couple of things going for Bobby. One, the sun's going down, so that might be helping him. But at the same token, it's the same setup. So maybe there's a little bit of driver differences, which they normally do that and have their own little customization in the setup. They have a really good baseline from the team overall. And one thing that's actually hurting Bobby is because they have the same setup, when you try to go side by side with your teammate, it's going to be really tough to pass, right? because you have the same truck, but you have one truck that's on a higher degree of banking. Just kind of helps that thing stay up top, not let the pass happen on the bottom. But right there, you see Brody for the first time in a little bit try the bottom half. The Bobby Charles instantly jumps up to the upper groove to try to make that pass and just didn't get the run that he was hoping to. Off corner exit there as we're kind of cycling through the field right now. 75 TJ Bartel, 08 Sylvain Jolly on your screen here. This is for 7th and 8th place. You got Mr. Johnson here. He's going to be in 9th. And then that last Fury Motorsports driver, the 11, and Tony Solari's in 10th. Just, we see a couple trucks further back. Jason, we got a little side-by-side action here as we're starting to see some people that are moving up and moving back.
Yeah, and here he is again, the 29, Tommy Schaefer, making great saves as always. I mean, here he goes, looking into turn 1. He is practically sideways. That truck is definitely not very happy right now, especially once it gets to the middle to long run part. He actually just skimmed the wall right there off turn number 2, and the 14 of Lane Allen was right in front of him. I think they almost right there, both of them got into the wall. As you're right on board, Tommy Schaefer, he's just trying to hang on to it, maybe hoping for a caution, hoping to maybe get some more grip later on in the run. The track temperature is still the same, so nothing has really cooled down. Right there, what a save. He's still loose off the corner. Man, baby, Tommy, save it, my boy. He is saving it off turn number 2. That has been the troublesome spot here for Tommy Schaefer all night long now. That's about 2 saves we've seen him make. Make that 3 right there off turn number 4. Oh, my goodness, he is digging in that virtual race car right now. That 29 machine is a handful, man. It's like it just brought the devil in him out. I mean, that 29 is all over the place. I would not be surprised, knock on wood, if you see Tommy Schaefer go around here in just a few laps, because that truck is struggling with grip right now compared to everybody else.
I don't know if you noticed Jason Modesta.
Oh, he's in the wall.
He's in the wall for 4. Didn't lose too much ground there, but that doesn't help the truck. Or actually, maybe it will. Maybe it'll help tighten that thing up, because that thing is all over the place. He's basically on a roller coaster, and he's got a long run still ahead of him. He's got maybe 50 laps left in this fuel tank. So never mind. He gets a huge break here by the 3rd Roasted Gems coffee caution this evening, and trying to cycle through the field to see where that happened at. Yes, it sounds like here, as we're going to go to the Nerd TV replay to take a look, and here we go. And the 41-213 swimwear just gets to the inside of Milliken, and that transition of banking, Jason, it hooked him.
Yeah, and what a save, though. I mean, he was able to gather it back up in that number 41 F-150. Everybody's running F-150s, I'm noticing. Every time I always call a truck, it's always an F-150. Yeah. It's never anything else. Everybody must love the Fords. I guess it's not fix or repair daily here in this series, but, I mean, I'm a Ford guy. I'm a Ryan Blaney fan. I can't really speak too low of those guys. But, yeah, what a save there by the 41 of Austin Gassion there. You saw him right underneath Kyle Milliken. Maybe just a product. Wonder if we can get maybe an onboard shot from the roof cam. Maybe the 42 started coming down on him. Maybe the 41 was just trying the best he can. Just right on board Alan Duranco. 41 just coming. Yeah, the 42 never moved an inch. And wow, oh my goodness. Whoa. We're going to have to look from another viewpoint of that, because Alan Duranco, I didn't really see how close Duranco was from the back straightaway cam. But oh my goodness, Alan Duranco probably just has life flash before his eyes there off turn number 2, because that could have been the end of his night. Here we go, 1 and 2, 41 to the inside of the 42. Those guys are going to go sideways, and right there, oh my goodness, what a save by the 2 of Duranco. Had great heads-up driving by that number 2.
2 awesome moves to avoid the 41 and then to not plow the outside wall. So great move there by Duranco, and that's not the first time we've seen him make some great maneuvers to keep himself out of a wreck, but these guys are back, they're getting back in line here. We got a couple laps before we go back to green flag, so we're going to kick it over to another quick picture-in-picture commercial break. We'll be back right before the drop of the green flag.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we're 3/4 of a lap away from getting this thing back to green flag for the 4th time this evening. And this was a huge break for the 29 of Schaefer because he was going to be driving the wheels off that thing if he wasn't already. But now we're going to get this thing regrouped. And if you look at your front row, Jason, it looks completely different. And actually, when I say front row, I mean like the first 4 rows. The 08 and the 9 going to be restarting this thing first and second. The 11 to 99, 81, 98, the 2 and 75. And then finally, when you get back to 9th and 10th place, you're going to find your leaders all race long, the 23 and the 4. So this restart might be the craziest one yet here as we're waiting for the green flag to drop. There we go. The green flag is out for the 4th time, and the 08 out of a cannon. That or the 9 missed. I think the 08 just had a huge, crazy start. Went over the driver driver chats, and I heard 08 jump to start. So we'll have to see what the admins do with that.
I don't think he really jumped the restart. I mean, maybe we can take a look at the replay there. I think genuinely, I mean, these guys, I mean, no offense to these drivers, they got to have some common sense. I mean, when you look at the restart right there, you got 8 drivers up in the top 8 who have old tires. And Sylvain Jolly probably just got a way better restart than these guys. They are battling all over the place right now. First guy on 4 fresh tires all the way up to 6. That's Brody Hanna in a 23 machine. He is making some headway down on the bottom of the racetrack. And they are faster than these guys, but not by much, but they're still faster than the 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. It might not show on the lap time, but on the medium to long run speed, oh boy, it's going to show up. And oh, we got a little issue right here with the 42 Kyle Milliken. Might have spun out there off turn number 2. No harm, no foul. Taking a look at the replay, taking a look, and he goes around, and oh my goodness, and Justin Dilt's heads up driving to not really touch him that much. Little bit of damage there to the 42. No harm, no foul. Off the racing surface, iRacing does not deem that as a reason to throw a caution. Neither did the admins. So that's why we are still under green flag conditions.
You see it one more time there. And that's crazy. That's where we've seen, I think, 3 different drivers now get loose in that same exact spot. And that's not even in the transition to the banking. Now it's very much in the center of the second lane, where they're getting loose. Oh, we've got 4 wide on the front stretch here. You see Tommy Schaefer spinning 4 wide in their turn number 1. A lot of different scenarios going on here. There's still 3 wide holding up the bottom, 51 to Brandon Elder. And you see 29 just trying to gather it. I thought that saving grace would have been that caution, but I guess he found wrong place at the wrong time here on this restart. And he's got some work to do, and tires that are pretty much shot at that point. He decides to the bottom. Crazy racing all the way through this field, at least in the back half, that is. As we're going to try to bring over some extra camera angles of the 29 down. Just got self-spun.
He just self-spins, but man, he does a hell of a job saving. I mean, that thing should have looped around about 2 or 3 times, and he was able to save it, and you see him right there. He's digging. He's going back up onto the bank and into turn 1. It has not been the 29's night. He was doing really good earlier on, but hey, what did I say? That 29 was going to go around at some point earlier on, and sure enough, he finally went around. That truck is handling very, very ill here tonight. 29 Tommy Schaefer needs a lot of adjustments if he wants to get back into this, but he's probably going to go a lap down at some point due to how much tire wear he just created due to that spin.
Yeah, 100% there. And their guys are still 2 and 3 wide in the same part of the field. Kind of by the 00 Tyler Brown, the 9 of Johnson, 48 of Volmer, in front of the 27 of Ryan Chapman, our in-race reporter. Kind of calmed down just a touch. As we were watching all the replays from the 29, they were 4 wide at one point. That was crazy stuff. And they almost wrecked going into turn. I'm surprised they really didn't. I've yet to see 4 wide entering a corner at Iowa. These guys did a great job to avoid that. And you're seeing all the work here from Chapman as you look not only from his cockpit helmet cam, but also his actual camera at his desk looking up at him. You can just kind of see if we ride on board here a full lap around Iowa, all the bumps this track has and how the trucks are not driving as smooth as they would like. We're going to see how big this bump affects him. Actually, he went just below the bump there to the center of the corner, so really smooth exit here, but we're going to be 3 wide as we're going to driver's perspective for 3 wide here at Iowa. Looks right at Tony Solari, kind of keeping his eye out on the 00, the brown, clear high, and that's a lap around Iowa.
Yeah, but look at Ryan. He's having a great time. You saw him right there off 2 into 3. He's smiling. Look at him right now. He's smiling. I don't know if he just knows that we're talking about him right now and somebody's telling him, or maybe he just genuinely is having that good of a time. I sure enough, every time I've driven here at Iowa in hosted sessions or leagues, I have had a blast driving these NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series chassis. I mean, they drive so great around here. I mean, the multi-groove racing, the tires, everything about that. There's one thing, we were talking about it, folks, under commercial break. I wish the NASCAR Xfinity Series would go back here so bad. I hope someday NASCAR decides to go back here. The ARCA Series does still run here, but I don't count that as NASCAR. That's just a sanctioned body in a sense. But, I mean, man, these Xfinity cars, when you put them out here virtually or in real life, they put on a show. So hopefully we can get some Xfinity Series racing back here, or maybe anything to do with NASCAR back here sometime in the near future in Iowa. But, man, these guys, real or not, they're putting on one hell of a show here at the virtual Iowa Speedway. You got 2, 3 wide. You see Sylvain Jolly. You see Curtis Vollmer right there. You see Tyler Brown there, 3 wide off the corner, and Curtis nearly loses it off turn number 4. They save it, and they keep on trucking into turn 1. You see him, he shoves Tyler Brown up the racetrack right in front of Brandon Elder. As we look at the drone cam, great shots from our producer, Dustin, as always, and they keep on trucking here as they head into 3 and 4.
He's flying this drone at 130 miles an hour and locking onto this race here as the 00 wanted to clear the 51. The 51 actually tagged the wall a touch. He's going to be able to get around the 51, and now his eyes are set back on the 48 of Vollmer. Oh, but he gets really loose there through 1 and 2, and it gives up the position back to Brandon Elder. As you see right now, Curtis Vollmer side by side with Sylvain Jolly, who restarted this race P1, and that 08's now falling back just around the top 10 area.
Everybody right now is doing a great job. Single file, 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide, hell, you name it. Everybody's doing such a good job here tonight at the virtual Iowa Speedway. You see Brandon Elder, he is loose, but he is still trucking along. He's 9th right now. He's up 18 spots from where he started. So is Curtis Vollmer in that 48 machine right now. They're both up 18 spots. See the Curtis right there, loose off turn number 4, almost pinches Brandon Elder up into the wall. Brandon, though, still ripping that top middle seam right there. He'll work to the outside of that 48 Silverado right now. The 2 Chevys neck and neck down the back straightaway. Brandon Elder looks to climb inside the top 8 as he's trying his best to work around the 48, and he will here off turn number 4. He'll clear the 48.
High side working in the 51's favor that time. That's going to secure him in that 8th position, at least momentarily. As we're seeing a lot of different positions switch around, and you're looking now on at the number 4 of Bobby Terrell. That is your race leader. And caution is out for the 4th time presented by Roasted Gems. And it's the 29 of Tommy Schaefer off of turn 4 once again. This man just cannot catch a break here in Iowa.
Yeah, no, he definitely can't. I mean, he's having the kind of night that I think Ryan Chapman was having at Worldwide Technology Raceway the other night on Monday. And wow, he loops around right in front of the race leader. Thankfully didn't stop. Thankfully didn't overcorrect it. He was able to save it, really. Got about 180 degrees, but he still saved it. Kept on trucking. Tommy Schaefer, man, he's going to have to put another set of Goodyear Eagles on that thing, and he's definitely going to have to make a big, big swing of adjustments here if he wants to try to get back into this race big time.
Roasted Gems Coffee better be paying him an extra paycheck tonight, because not only is he bringing out the Roasted Gems Coffee, he's sponsored by him, and he's getting a lot of TV time because so just getting the shout outs to the sponsor, doing what he can there. But he's going to be the first truck 1 lap down, I think, on this restart, if I'm not mistaken, after everything cycles through. So just a tough break. He usually runs inside the top 10, does a really good job each week in and week out. We see him, but just Iowa, for some reason, the team just missed the setup, I guess, tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, some guys, and this is the thing I wanted to point out earlier when it came to setups. I mean, you talk about, Jeremy, earlier, Tony Solari. If you're in motorsports, you look at the Martin Sports Get a Grip Lucky Dog Award given to James Torrey, who's had a little bit of a rough night. He's been here and there, gained a lot of spots earlier on, then he lost a lot of spots. So good to see that number 6 machine get back on the lead lap, or at least get a lap back. But back to my point here. I mean, you talked about how Tony Solari, if you're in motorsports, helps these guys set up the trucks with Bobby, Richie, and Brody all in the top 3. His teammates are all in the top 3. They all have podium positions right now. But the thing is, and it's a big thing here on iRacing, when you have drivers in a team in general, a group of guys, gals, whoever it may be, they set up these trucks, they set up whatever it may be, it favors drivers. Some guy might like it better than the other guy. You never know. They'll make adjustments. They'll make swings at it. Maybe tonight, Tony Solari, if he were to have Bobby Terrell, Richie Coy, or Brody Hanna in his truck at his sim rig, they might perform better just because they like the setup more. Tony Solari might not be, having an advantage with the setup, but his teammates, on the other hand, they're benefiting, though, from that setup. So the sacrifice of Tony Solari's speed given to Bobby, Richie, and Brody, they're doing a hell of a job at the front of the field. They've dominated this race. It's unfortunate to see Tony outside the top 10. Maybe we'll see him in the closing stages of this race in the top 10. Hopefully he'll be up competing with his teammates for a race winning positions.
You saw on your screen last lap the Martin Sports hashtag Get a Grip Lucky Dog Award belonged to the number 6 of James Torrey, as he got his lap back from that caution there. It's going to put him on the lead lap. 23 trucks looks like we'll be restarting on the same lap here. These caution laps are so long at Iowa. I was expecting almost wholeheartedly that those pace lights would have turned off, but they are still on, I think. So we're going to go 2 more laps. It's going to be a great time to shout out to one of our partners here. TWRS, Team Watson Racing Setups, is the leading name in quality, affordability, and professionalism. With a staff decorated, distinguished, and dedicated setup builders, TWRS delivers top-notch race and championship-winning setups from the iRacing garages of drivers across the simulation community. Check out a full list of services at teamwatsonracing.com. And I'd love to do a second shout-out to Nerd Swag. I don't shout them out often. I should do it more often. But if you want to support us here at Nerd TV and the Nerditudes, we got some cool apparel, and it is slowly growing and growing. We got bottles, we got mouse pads, we got gloves, shirts. There's quite a few items right now, and just keep your eye out on that list as it continues to grow. All great stuff. They're really cool. So you're gonna find them at swag.nerditudes.gg. And Jason, we finally got the lights to go off on the pace car, so we're gonna go back to green flag action here. They got to start off lap 111.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if Bobby Terrell can get away from his teammates. Obviously, he's got that lead now, and Brody Hanna is 3rd right now. But hey, look who's 4th right now. Sherwood Williford up 3 spots from where he started. But here's the real big money shot here on this restart. Look at that. You see that right there? He's coming in the frame. There he is inside, 4th truck on the inside. That's Brandon Elder. He's restarting 7th. We're going to see what that number 51 Silverado has here for these Fury Motorsports guys up the front. Maybe he can make his way up towards the front and compete for this win right here.
Man, you just had me rolling a second ago. I won't repeat that, but here we go. Restart is underway. The 4 of Terrell and the 19 of Richie Coy. Dead heat here. One of the best restarts the 19's had. He's going to run the top. I don't think he's going to have anything for Bobby as he quickly slides up in front. But it's going to get a great run. Yeah, like you said, on the coming to turn 3 toward the bottom, just does not have the momentum enough to get there. And the 4 is so fast early on. I think no one's got anything for him. This 23 of Brody Hanna, outside of the clean air, he's struggling to get around his teammates here. He's now still sitting in 3rd place after that restart where everyone switched up everything. Just the 23 unable to get back to the front. But it also brings Sherwood Williford in P4 consistently, again, been inside this top 5 all race long.
Here's another guy working his way back up to the front of this field. He was just outside the top 10 earlier on. You're riding on board with our in-race reporter, Ryan Chapman, with that onboard presented by iRock 93.5. He's working to the outside of Michael Blackner. This is the battle for the 5th spot here inside the top 5. Ryan surely wants to get around that Red Bull number 22 machine. Just can't do it. Everybody's still on those fresher tires, so everybody still has the grip that they need. You see him, he's ripping that outside, ripping that middle lane, right in between the 2 dotted lines. But you see Michael Blackner inside of him, nearly makes contact. These guys are still going to be battling here as they head into 3.
Yeah, you're really watching him being focused as he's trying to battle Blackner and also trying to hold off Curtis Vollmer there, who looked to the inside that time, but still side by side here. 27 has the preferred groove when it comes to tire wear. If you're throttled on the inside and have to turn the wheel more, it just eats up that tire wear for the long run, and so you don't want to stay there too often. Oh, but the 27 really checked up at the entrance there, and the Tony Starr, look at that grip. The 11 he just completely passed ripping the 27, no problem, and the 22. Huge power move there by the 11, Tony Solari.
He is ripping right now. I don't know if somebody relayed what I was saying earlier under caution, but man, he has turned on the jets. He nearly just brushed the wall there off turn number 2. So you can just tell right now he is digging inside of his virtual cockpit from his home right now. And he is about to pass Sherwood Williford right now. That's the battle for the 4th place spot. He'll work down to the inside of the racetrack right now. And honestly, looking at the stats on the SDK Gaming Live timing sheet, Tony Solari is the first guy right now with the freshest tires. Last pitted on lap 106 compared to these guys who pitted 20 laps earlier than him. So that's why Tony right now is the fastest driver on the racetrack by about 3 to 4 tenths. He is going to get to his teammates right now. And here we go, just like we talked about. Fury Motorsports 1, 2, 3, and 4 right now. They lock out the top 5 almost right now, and they are ripping here off turn number 4.
Strategy right now playing a huge factor for the 11. They got 3 sets of tires to use, and he's used up 2 of them. So I think he's got 1 more set behind the wall, and that's it for the 11. So he's going to hope for a long green flag run as he gets really close to that outside wall there off the exit of turn 2. But yeah, we were kind of looking at that in that last restart, Jason. We noticed about 15 laps in, these guys already dropped a whole second from their start pace, and him pitting 12 laps, or having 12 laps fresher set of tires than everybody else. You're really seeing the huge difference that it pays off to have those tires. The 11's just praying for a long run to really set him up for a good finish here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, he's going to have to pit again, too, just like everybody else. And other drivers, too, who last pitted on 106, who are notable inside that top 10 right now. Right now, TJ Bartel up 13 from where he started. He last pitted on 106. He's working his way up. Sylvain Jolly right behind him, plus 11. He last pitted on 106. And another driver inside the top 10 right now, Mark Brannigan Jr., the rookie, the number 98 machine, up 15 spots from where he started. He also pitted on lap 106. And outside the top 10, Charlotte winner Cody McKinney right now sitting in 11th, last pit on lap 106. He's currently 6 spots out from where he started. He's trying to look his way back inside the top 10 as he looks to try to pass our in-race reporter Ryan Chapman to the inside of the racetrack. He goes into 3.
What a great race here by these 5 trucks in particular that are currently on your screen, led by the 28 of McKinney. Oh, is they're really close there around the 27 of Chapman, who just slides in between McKinney and the 81 there, or the 83 other Chucker, but try to make a pass around the bottom, just cannot do it. Cody's just a little bit too strong on the top, and that's very familiar for the upper side of the track. You get so much more momentum with that 2-degree banking difference. You can really have so much more versatility in your truck. You see the 98 just in front of them going around the 22, Michael Blackner.
Right now just fighting, clawing for every piece of real estate, every piece of track position. Look at the 83 of Richard Tucker there into 1 and 2. He ripped the top lane. Look at this truck bounce. I mean, this thing looks like it's got a toe knocked out. Look at him. Boom, 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 boom. He is absolutely digging right up against the cushion on the outside of 1 and 2. He is hitting every possible bump that he can right now, but that truck is struggling with grip right now. You can see the damage on the right-hand side. Got into an incident earlier on. Here comes the 29 machine. Tough night all night long there for, that is the 29 machine of Tommy Schaefer, currently second to last car on the lead lap. He is trying his hardest to make his way back up through this field as he looks to the inside right now of the 83 of Richard Tucker, who sits in 13th.
Excellent battle here and a couple other spots around this track. 29 Tommy Schaefer, his truck looks a little more tight than what it was previously, and actually a little too tight corner exit. Able to keep it off the wall, but I thought it was going to shoot straight for the outside wall. Clears 83 there momentarily, but you see the 83 once again just bouncing and bouncing real hard on the upper half of turn 1 and 2. I am really surprised those trucks are able to go over the bumps the way they are, have so much movement, and yet it doesn't affect their race. They continue to just have a great corner exit each and every time. I expected more guys getting loose up there.
Yeah, I did too. And honestly, here's a really good storyline right now. While all these great battles are going on, Tony Solari obviously took that race lead away from Bobby Terrell. But even with those 20-lap fresher tires, they have equalized, Jeremy. They are practically running the same lap times. That last time around, Tony Solari only less than a tenth faster than Bobby Terrell, and Bobby still ripping the bottom, trying to get to his teammates' back bumper. Also, TJ Bartel, he's up there, but still, his times have equalized. So this is the greatest scenario that could have happened to those guys that pitted at lap 106. So they are still making their way up. Sylvain Jolly, he's kind of settled in 5th, not really gaining any positions. Same goes for Mark Brannigan Jr., Cody McKinney. They sit 8th and 9th, as long with Tyler Grennett there, the rookie in the number 81 machine, sitting in 10th, having a good night so far. The strategy call may have worked out for him. Started deep in the field tonight, struggled in practice. Now he finds himself in the top 10.
Going on here with number 81 of Tyler Gannott. Some pretty good racing still right behind them of Mr. Johnson, the number 9, Blackner, and the 22 and the 29 of Schaefer. These three guys have been nose to tail, side by side for several laps now. And it's just, this is why Iowa is so good. The multiple amount of lanes, we've already talked about it, but like it just continues to show itself. These guys are separated, left to right by like 3 truck lengths, and yet they're still running the same exact lap times. It just overall, just such a driver's track. Turn what you need, and the sunlight is down all the way at this point. The track lights are on, and we're starting to see some grip back in the track. It's probably why the 29's got some extra grip. Some other guys that I've seen getting loose at this point in the race. Last time, I just don't see the looseness in these trucks. So this race is just going to continue to get better and better as we're now on lap 133 of schedule 200.
Yeah, and honestly, right now, track temperature, too, really hasn't changed. It's flirted between 73 to 75 degrees right now. Regular temperature right now in the air right now, the ambient temp, 69 degrees right now, almost flirting to 70 degrees right now. But here we go. Battle for the lead. Talked about those tires equalizing. Tony Solari didn't really have a truck earlier on, and here we go. Now that the tires have equalized, Tony probably not too happy with that truck. Now that obviously the times have equalized, tires are settling in for those 20-lap fresher tires. They are not feeling too good right now. There goes his teammate Bobby Terrell to the race lead, tries the crossover move, not enough momentum. Tony Solari drops back to 2nd, and here comes TJ Bartel in the 75 machine, up 15 spots from where he started, and also bringing along Martin Sports, Mach 1 Performance, basically FTSR's great Richie Coy, currently sitting P4. He is also following in tow behind those guys. So this is shaping up to be a great battle for the lead here later on in the stages of this race.
Yeah, TJ Bartel has been just silently been doing an excellent job here for the first 2 races, and then through this race here to start off 2023B. Just consistently finding himself in the top 5, no matter if he starts in the back like tonight or in the front. As we're going to go to the Nerd TV replay, we're going to see Kyle Milliken in a little bit of trouble here. 3 and 4, I think this is. Getting loose and just loses it. That's off, turn 2. That's the second time that the 42 has self-spun this evening.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when we were looking at the headway shot down the back straightaway, I saw somebody sitting down there, and I was like, what the heck? And then I knew immediately, once I saw that yellow and green painting, I was like, nah, man, not Kyle. So Kyle probably having a night like Ryan Chapman did the other night at Gateway, so he has decided to bring it to the pits. Took the tow. He is in the pits right now. We'll see if he comes back out. I mean, there's not really any damage to that racetrack besides the right-hand side, so it's not like it's not drivable. It's just maybe he's just not having such a great setup like he has. But look at these guys still battling right now. Bobby Terrell continuing to work that bottom, and Tony Solari continuing to work that top lane. Faster that lap time around was Bobby Terrell. He was faster than him by about 0.02 of a second. The time before that, Tony Solari was faster than him by about a tenth. So these guys swapping lap times. Now you see Bobby Terrell. He works in that middle lane, takes away the line from his teammate Tony Solari. That's going to put Tony Solari in some dirty air. Not going to have the momentum off the corner. So going to be interesting to see who is going to prevail here when it's all said and done here, as we're approaching just about 50 laps to go.
I feel like the 11 of Solari just pressed the issue too much. He took very little time to cycle through the front, and the amount of qualifying laps, if you will, were put on those tires. It's really just overheated them, and now he's struggling, right? Now, he wore out that excess grip that he would have had if he would have maybe waited a few extra laps to make those moves. So I think if he can just kind of cool him off, he might be able to stabilize. I don't think he's going to have anything for the 4 of Terrell in the long run, but I think if he can just cool him off enough, he'll be able to maintain pace with his teammate, the 19, Richie Coy, and all these guys inside the top 5. But overall, though, still, he was running about 10th to 15th on average this evening, and now inside the top 5 playing that latest pit strategy. Yeah, this is a big W for him.
Yeah, I tell you what, too, Jeremy, somebody who's not really having a big W right now, who seemed to be one of the strongest, if not the best truck earlier on, Brody Hanna, still in the top 10, but currently sitting P6, man. I mean, he's been top 2, top 3 all night long. Once that restart happened, he just kind of started dropping a little bit. I mean, he's dropped 5 spots from where he started, which is unfortunate because we know how strong Brody Hanna is. You know, he's struggled a little bit recently in these first 2 to 3 races now for both Mach 1 and obviously Martin Sports. And here he is right now, still top 10. This is not a bad run for Brody Hanna by any means. It's just the fact is that he's been running top 2 to top 3 all night long. And now the truck is kind of starting to fade away from him just a little bit. He's not running as fast as his teammates. That last time around, though, was a little bit faster. So maybe we'll have to see, though, if when they do pit again, if Brody could possibly maybe make his way back up towards the front here. But this has become a strategy game for the guys that pitted at lap 106 and the guys that pitted at lap 83 here. So we'll have to see with the varying strategies as this race progresses. We're continuously approaching 50 laps to go. That's when you're going to start to see drivers maybe start to duck into the pits here.
Yeah, I think just the dirty air on that truck has just not benefited him at all. And another guy I was kind of looking at, too, as far as someone not moving forward the way we expected, is your points leader, the 28 of Cody McKinney. I know we're only 2 races in, but this guy is the only guy that has 2 top 5 finishes to start this season and currently running in P9. Started 5th, but he just hasn't found the speed. It's just not just like no freeness in the truck, so he has to just kind of wait for the throttle more so on exit than anything else. When you go to the bottom, that just really prohibits any type of passing that you're going to do to the guy that's maybe same speed or slightly slower than you. So he's just unable to make ground up. And so Cody McKinney just another couple cautions to get that thing loosened up. Yeah, but him and the 23, as you just talked about, just 2 trucks that kind of a little bit on the off game tonight after stage 1 ended anyways.
Yeah, I mean, and Cody McKinney right now, if you look at the first 2 races, his average finish is 1.5 basically. I mean, he finished first, won the opening Season B race at Charlotte, finished second last week at Gateway, and now currently just inside the top 10 in 9th. He's working right now the 98 of Mark Brannigan Jr., the rookie, currently up 16 spots from where he started. He's one of those guys who pitted on lap 106 along with Cody McKinney. So interesting to see him, you know, just kind of running the way he's been. I mean, maybe he needs a caution. He needs some adjustments, like you said, Jeremy. But another guy, too, I'm looking at right now on the SDK Gaming Live timing leaderboard, Brandon Elder. We talked about how fast that truck was. He was 7th at the restart. He has dropped now double the positions back, sitting 14th right now, still up 13 from where he started. But Brandon Elder is just struggling right now. I mean, that truck is just not where it should be right now. Currently about a little bit slower, about a tenth or two, sometimes 3-4 tenths slower than what some of the leaders are running. So just not the night right now that Brandon Elder needs. He's going to need some adjustments, going to need a little bit of luck here if he wants to make his way back into that top 10, top 5 range like he was earlier on.
Yeah, I think he was second or third fastest in practice, and I thought he was going to be a really strong contender inside this top 5. But having that bad, not taking a qualifying time, coming his way up through the field, and then just kind of stalemated around 15th place or so on average. Just can't really progress any farther forward through the field, and we're on lap 151, so we got 50 laps to go. I would imagine pit stops are going to happen any time. I think if my incorrect playbook serves me anything, I think they got another pit stop on the way. I think you said that about 30 laps ago or so, but we're gonna kick it over to one more picture-in-picture before we go back to watch the rest of this race. We'll be back momentarily.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And back to full screen, and you are seeing the start of the last green flag pit stops this evening. Bobby Terrell comes down first. That's going to give Richie Coy his first lap led tonight in the 19. Then he came down the very next lap, and right now on your screen, the 23 Brody Hanna almost clipping the little water barrels there at the entrance of pit road. So he got every single ounce of speed possible to enter that thing into pit road, and that's what you kind of need to do if you're going to make up any ground. You want to nail the entrance and exit just perfect, right? And so I think 23 did that to make up any ground he could. But I think about a quarter to half of the field has come down for their green flag pit stop, Jason.
Yeah, and here's the one thing that I want to point out, and the way that I look at this, because it's kind of like if you're in science class, you're creating a hypothesis and whatnot, and your theory and whatnot, and then you're coming to your conclusion. I have a theory. I don't think that these guys like TJ Bartel, Tony Solari, and JP Burns, and Richard Tucker, who are staying out, and same with Alan Duranko, these guys are staying out. All right, take Tony Solari out of the equation. He's out of it right now. But for any of these guys that are going to stay out here, that pit on lap 106 to lap 108, it's not going to work. And the reason why I say that is because these guys are going to be on fresher tires. They're going to be going a second to a second and a half quicker. When you come into the pits, you're going to lose all that time that you gained from coming up through the field. And because you pitted so late, you're going to have to drive your way through the field. And then you're going to basically stall out because the tires are going to even out. Regardless of how many laps fresher tires you have, the tires will equalize. We saw that happen to Tony Solari, lap 106 to lap 83 tires. Drove his butt all the way up to the front, got to the front, tires equalized, times equalized, and then he started falling back. So I think that the right call was probably pitting right there, like Richie Coy did and all these other guys did. I just don't think that the guys staying out on those lap 106 tires, it's going to pay off.
And to defend that notion there, we have a caution here for the fourth time presented by Rosa Jim's Coffee.
Wow. This changes everything.
Huge. Now everyone to come down pit road, and this time the 81 looks like as we go. Oh, the Sylvain Jolly, the 08 clips the 81 there, ended 3 and 4. And just send them around. I don't know if that was just one guy was trying to go low, one guy was going to go high at the same time. Not entirely sure there, but they came together in the middle of the corner.
It looked like the 08 got loose. I mean, what in the heck happened right here? Are we on board with Sylvain? We are. We're going to have to get a look for maybe a drone cam from like a third-person type console game look, possibly, because that 08 was coming out of the pits, or something happened to him. One or the other, and he was super loose, came back up on the track, got loose, 81 came down, 08 came up, and then all of a sudden, here we go, perfect shot, 08's coming back up on the track, 81's running, 81 comes down, 08 comes up. Unfortunately, those are just two guys on two different strategies, no harm, no foul. That's racing right there, different strategies. Tell you what, though, that's a heartbreaker for the 81 of Tyler Granat right there. I mean, he was having a solid run earlier on, and so was Sylvain Jolly if both of them go around. But, Jeremy, this changes everything. Those guys that I was talking about who are going to stay out, this played into their favor. They also have the entire field one lap down all the way up to Justin Diltz, who is currently sitting 8th. So this plays into their favor in a big, big way.
Yeah, that's huge. I was actually going to defend you and saying that 75 was putting himself in a bad spot because he had 35 laps to go on a short track to come down pit road and make up that ground, that's really tough to do with 30 laps to spare at a short track. But then, you see the top 8 are only trucks on the lead lap. 9th place, Bobby Terrell, your race leader for the most part of the second stage, 1 lap down. But we're going to see the other guys come down pit road. It's going to cycle some of the guys back to the lead lap naturally. But yeah, they're a lap down, Jason, from 9th place back to 21st. So, what's that, 12 trucks that need to be re-brought to the front here? That's crazy, right? So, this changes everything. I don't know what to expect here on this restart. I imagine some of these guys are going to get their laps back, but I don't know. That's a lot of guys all of a sudden going to be praying for some cautions here.
We're both confused right now up here in the booth. I mean, these guys are going to take that wave around. But one thing I'm looking at right now in this leaderboard, if it is correct, JP Burns and Alan Duranko, lap 106 and lap 107. I don't know if the pits have opened yet. As far as I'm concerned, they were. They have not made their stops, and they are guys who pit on lap 106 and lap 107 compared to these guys who have pitted between lap 159 all the way to lap 168. So if these guys stay out right here, and by the looks of it, that's what they're doing, this is not going to end up well for these guys who are going to be on fresh tires.
This is a mental game to realize that you have half the field a lap down and to stay out on old tires. You know what you're doing. You're intentionally keeping all the guys that should be cycled through on the lead lap. You are keeping them back behind you. And so playing that strategy alone is, man, you're going to see a lot of guys come through the field real quick, try to get the lucky dog if there's going to be one. I think the battle for 9th place really is going to be your best battle on the track with the fresh set of tires and trying to be the first person to receive the lucky dog. When it comes to short tracks and toward the end of a race, it's more prone that you're going to see some caution. So, just keep an eye out on that. It's going to be really fun here to watch.
Yeah, the one thing, too, that's going to be interesting to see for us, and we're going to get really confused, is because of only 8 cars up on or 8 trucks, I should say, up on the lead lap, it is going to be very difficult to determine who is where, who's got the higher position, who's where on the racetrack, because we're going to be seeing these guys on fresher tires blowing up through the field all the way to those guys who are in the top 8. We are going green this time. So this is going to be a very, very interesting next 29 laps, basically. I don't really know what to say. Alan Duranko and JP Burns pulled a really good strategy by staying out, but at the same time, this is not going to look good on their part because they're going to get blown by the field here with guys who have basically 50-lap fresher tires. They did lap the field, though, but this is going to be interesting. I do not have a favorite. I have no idea who's going to win. I am just here to call the action for the folks at home.
I won't be surprised there's a caution within 3 laps here of just so many people having to cycle through the front with much fresher tires. But green flag is out. JP Burns on the 99 is going to lead these guys to turn number 1. Duranko on the top. TJ Bartel settles on the bottom. The 9 here, Marshall Johnson, gets a pretty decent run through the center of turns 1 and 2. He's going to claim second. And the 48 of Vollmer's going to try to go 3 wide momentarily. Backs out of that. Goes down, tries to dip below the number 9. We're 3 wide here. We got 27 of Chapman in the middle, the 81 of Granat on the top. Now the 27 swoops down low, gets blocked by the 99 who has the older tires. They are 4 wide through 1 and 2.
Just about to say, Jeremy, look at the battle right now. Oh, Richie Coy's up and into the wall. Little bit of contact. They are 4, almost 5 wide. There might be some trouble here. They're getting really tight. Wow, this battle for the lucky dog. You see the 75 Bartel up and into the wall right now. If the caution were to come out, I believe Bobby Terrell does have the lucky dog. Oh, there was Richie Coy.
Around in the center of the field, the 5th caution, or 6th caution presented by Roasted Jim's Coffee is out. And Jason, these guys are 4 wide essentially for an entire lap at Iowa. That's insane. And then it finally took some contact between teammates. I think the 19, Richie Coy, got a little loose right before the the 23 just kind of touched him in the right rear.
Oh,
but the 19 did slide up, so Brody probably didn't expect that check up there, but teammates turned each other on lap 174.
Oh, boy. That is a slippery slope, as they would say. You see Richie Coy, he has to check up big time. Brody, it's almost like Brody tried to lift, but at the same time, I mean, no drama trying to create here, but Brody just... I don't think you're right, or not, let me rephrase that. You're absolutely right, Jeremy. I don't think Brody obviously expected Richie to jolt up the track like that quickly. But, I mean, he did not really lift, at all. I mean, he could have slammed on the brakes, but I think Brody knew in his mind he was carrying way too much momentum. He knew the consequences that were going to happen, and unfortunately, it sends one of his buddies, his friend, his teammate, colleague, Richie Coy, man. That's unfortunate, man. He never really has any issues, and to see him have one here tonight, that is huge. But hey, to note, I think Bobby Terrell, look at him right there up on the outside. Bobby Terrell is going to be back on the lead lap right here. So this is really big for Bobby Terrell because he's got practically no competition up at the front of that field right there that was really competing with him earlier besides TJ Bartel. So he's going to be the Martin Sports hashtag Get a Grip Lucky Dog Award winner. And Bobby Terrell is now in the catbird seat. He's going to have a great shot to try to win this race, but he's only going to have less than 25 laps to do it.
In no way at all that's intentional, just by pure coincidence. But this allows, when the two Fury Motorsports drivers got connected and spun out there, the other Fury Motorsports driver, the number 4 Terrell, gets the lucky dog. So this actually advances at least one of their team trucks back to the lead lap, and that's going to put him in 10th place overall once everything gets cycled through. But we're going to actually try to bring on back to the camera the number 27 Ryan Chapman. Looks like he's going to be restarting this thing in 4th place. Let's see if we can get a word with this guy here. Ryan Chapman, it's Jeremy from the Nerd TV booth once again. You got a copy?
Hey guys, what's up, man?
Just really confused and a lot of excitement going through the field. I see that smile the whole way through, man. It looks like you're having a blast out there. I've seen the smile through this whole race. Such a flip-flop of a thing, and to not have the guys on old tires pit locks half the fuel in a lap down, and now you're sitting real good. So with about 21, 22 laps to go when we go back to green, what are your chances?
Looking really good right now. Honestly, got to give a big shout out to a teammate. He was able to stay out there because he pitted a few earlier in the race, and he was able to stay out, kind of get everyone that pitted a lap down, and we're just trying to get our team back up in position, and we were able to. And now we're just trying to execute it and get elevated all in that top 10. But it wasn't looking good. Trust me. We were panicking. We were like, our only hope here is a caution. And luckily our teammate pitted earlier, and like I said, he was able to stay out and get the lead some laps, and just now it's all coming together. And honestly, we didn't play it out this way, but you know, we've been working on it and just trying to get everything working, and now it is.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. Jason, you got anything for him before we let him go?
I tell you what, Ryan, this has got to feel better than Monday night.
Oh, so much better, man. It's so good to be back in the trucks. I love these things, but had a little trouble with the setup on the long run, but we got a nice 20-lap shootout, so I think we got something for them. So we'll put the hammer down on the outside and see what we got.
All right, man. Yeah, go get him. Good luck. This is a completely different field here in the top 10, so we'll see what you can do here in these final 20 laps.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy.
Yes, sir.
I bet you we're going to enjoy that too, man. He ain't wrong. We're going to enjoy it for sure. This is going to be one hell of a race here to the finish, Jeremy.
As soon as we put him on camera, that smile was from ear to ear, and that laugh right after. He knows he's in a good spot. You can't do too much wrong here at this point, other than turn the thing around. And he's got a really good handling truck once the lights came down. So I strongly believe he's going to do something on the top to make some magic happen. You also heard him. I kind of keyed in on it, but he's like, yeah, the teammate heads up stayed out to make sure the field was lapped down. So just mental game played huge dividends for these guys right now on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. And also, not to mention the fact, too, Bobby Terrell forgot about this, Jeremy. The way the lucky dog works, he may have gotten it. He may be back on the lead lap now, but he is starting at the tail end of the longest line.
One more caution, and he's there. But here we go. Green flag. This time it's going to be led by the 48 of Vollmer, who gets a pretty decent jump over the field this time. Easily clears the 9 of Marshall Johnson entering turn 1 and 2. And here's Chapman on the top. Already getting door-to-door with the number 9. Halfway down the back straightaway, Brody Hand, a 3 wide with Duranko and JP Burns as they go through turns 3 as well. Oh, the 75 of Bartel also makes some contact with Diltz.
Oh, you see the 11 right there, Tony Solari. Everybody's shuffling all over the place. They're 3, 4, almost nearly 5 wide. Tony Solari got into the Duranko. Duranko almost got up into the 98 of Brannigan Jr. They're all 2, 3 wide off the corner. Everybody fighting for that next lucky dog in case the caution comes out. And that's a big if the caution comes out, because we might not get one. But these guys, the way they're racing, we sure enough might just get one right now. Everybody fighting for every single piece of track position as Ryan Chapman, though, up at the front of the field, continues to try to run down Curtis Vollmer right there in the 48 machine as they work their way into 3.
There's just so much different things going around the track. And right now, Vollmer with that fresh air on that nose, that Chevrolet Silverado is just taking off in comparison to Ryan Chapman, Marshall Johnson, TJ Bartell. He's got, what, a 5-6 truck length advantage now as we're on lap 183, 18 laps to go in this event. And then 27 needs to find something because right now Vollmer in that fresh air is paying huge for him.
Vollmer's a rookie, man. He would love to come out here and win one of these races right now, especially over some of the best in the business. Ryan Chapman, TJ Bartell, Justin Dilts, lots of guys. And I mean, to basically, if he can steal one away from these guys would be insane. But here we go. Battle for second. TJ Bartell, one of those guys who was fast at the front of the field before that caution came out and the green flag pit cycle came through. He was a fast guy. He might have something for Curtis Vollmer right now in the 48 machine. But to the inside, here comes Ryan Chapman, says, nah, I want a piece of this again. Here he comes back down to the inside. Not enough, though. TJ Bartell in the 75 goes right to second as they all try to chase down Curtis Vollmer in the 48 off 4.
They're still 3 wide back there as we got 15 laps to go in the Iowa 200. Vollmer continuing to slightly pull away from the 75 of Bartell and the 27 of Chapman. Top 5 and top 10 really starting to space out. You see right there, close contact, or almost contact with the 83 of the 11, the 28, your points leader McKinney, the 2 of Duranco. They're all closed up. Brody Hanna rather gets real close to Dilts there off of turn 4, able to keep it off the left rear quarter panel there. 3 wide as they go through 1.
Everybody fighting for every single piece of track position. Duranco nearly gets into the Charlotte winner of Cody McKinney down the back straightaway. Richard Tucker there up on to the outside of the racetrack. Not enough. These guys are still side by side right now. Everybody though side by side. There's the 91 machine. Justin Dilts, he almost got up into Brody Hanna there off turn number 4. He's trying to work to the outside of the 99 machine right there off turn number 2. Just not enough. Everybody's scrambling all over this racetrack, but a battle for the lead could be shaping up here. TJ Bartell has closed almost 0.3 of a second on Curtis Vollmer. He would love to steal this win away from the rookie here. It is closed now almost down below 0.4, almost 0.3 off turn number 2. I think TJ Bartell, Jeremy, is going to get to Curtis's back bumper.
TJ was 0.3 faster that last lap here, and he's doing it slightly higher than the 48 coming off of turn 4. We'll see what the difference looks like this time. TJ runs a 23.95 to Curtis Vollmer's 24.0, so another 10th gain there. An excellent run. Oh, we got some JP Burns almost around through turn 2. The 28 swoops up high. Looks like potentially tagged by the 23 as I hear Brody Hanna go over comms and say, I'm sorry about that. He took responsibility in that contact, but the 23 needs to stay focused as he's side by side with his teammate and Durango.
I keep on just tightening up my body right now, man. There's so much going on all over this racetrack. 11 of Solari nearly brushes the wall off, too. He's battling with his teammate. Durango, though, inside of the racetrack. By the way that timing and scoring is looking, if the caution were to come out, though, I think JP Burns in the 99 would have the lucky dog, I believe, right now. But here we go. Battle for the lead up front. TJ Bartell, Curtis Vollmer. TJ is around the 48 machine, and he goes right to the lead, coming to 8 laps to go. Will Curtis have anything left for TJ as they work their way off 4?
Elevated Esports driver, the 48 of Curtis Vollmer, just can't not do anything on the bottom. I think if he needs to do anything, he needs to go to the second and third groove to find some grip up there. TJ obviously has found it. And the way he's dropping back so quick, the 40, I think he needs to slide up for anything. But as we go back to this big race here right now, I got the 91 leading this charge with the 27, the 23, and the 2 still all 3 wide. There's been so much 3 wide action here in the back half of this race. It is completely insane. Is there going to go 4 wide? Again?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I just cannot believe the great racing we've had here tonight. I haven't seen racing like this at Iowa in probably about the year of commentating that I've done. I've seen a lot of side-by-side action, 2-3 wide at Iowa, but nothing quite like the FTSR boys are putting on right now. You're looking at Brody Hanna going to the inside of, I believe that is Justin Diltz in the 91 machine. It is to the inside of the racetrack he goes, though everybody's still double wide. Tony Solari nearly in the wall almost again off turn number 2, but everybody's still battling for every piece of real estate. 6 laps now, 5 laps to go. Jeremy, you got to start thinking the way these guys are running. Curtis Vollmer might get saved, though, if we just, in fact, have a yellow flag here in the later stages of this race.
Vollmer has moved to the top and is kind of equalized, and if not parked to the corner, actually a little bit faster than Bartel. But he has 5 laps now, 4 to do it. Still staying focused, rather, on this major group of trucks just shortly behind your race leaders. They're not 3 wide, but they're still racing pretty aggressively to figure out who's going to finish where. 2 by 2 by 2 for Silver back.
Yeah, everybody's still 2 by 2 right now. Solari nearly almost up and into the wall again. He'll be side by side with Mark Brannigan Jr. They're 2, now 3 wide. Here comes Richie Coy. Spun out last time, brought out our last caution pretty much. And here he is right now. He's trying to battle for more positions. It might not be a win, but there are points on the line here for Season B. 3 laps to go. Coy looking to the inside of Williford here through turn number 2. Solari outside his teammate. Everybody still double wide. This is practically a restart as they're coming to 2 laps to go this time by.
Look at the amount of trucks that are just on your screen right now. They are scattered all over the place. It is pretty impressive that we have not seen a single ounce of contact in these past 10 laps or so, as we still see more 3 wide with the 3311 and the 4 coming through turns 1 and 2. Going to exit still 3 wide. Williford's going to be the first truck to fall out of that. He's going to follow suit behind the number 11, at least momentarily. But the 4 Bobby Terrell is a huge checkup here, as we got white flag 1 to go, presented by nobody. And that 75 of Bartel has a 10 truck length advantage over the number 48 of Vollmer. No issues in front of him, no issues behind him. 27 turned around backwards into the outside retaining wall. No caution is out by iRacing, and the Martin Sports winning moment presented by that caution break allowed the race leaders to fall back, and the 75 of Bartel capitalizes. First win for him into the 2023 B season.
Job by TJ Bartel on a night where we thought Fury Motorsports was going to dominate. Bobby Terrell, Richie Coy, Brody Hanna, all those guys up at the front of the field doing such a great job. And then to fall short to that late race caution there and to have everything shuffled up, only 8 trucks on the lead lap. TJ Bartel, sure enough, stole one away. We're going to take a look right here, though, before we get to TJ Bartel doing burnout. You see the 27. Just gets a little bit loose, collects Tony Solari. Heartbreaker tonight for what was a great run going for Ryan Chapman.
That was a really interesting wreck. He hit the right rear quarter panel, and the guy that he hit didn't get loose, didn't spin, didn't nothing. I think it was a 98. And the fact that Ryan Chapman just spun so quickly on that contact really surprises me, but nonetheless, does end up finishing the race on the lead lap still, but the 75 of Bartel just, you can say, almost steals one from the remainder of the field as he does a quick burnout and ends that thing. So we're going to go over the finishing results here, unofficially, of course, to wind this thing down. TJ Bartel, P1, Curtis Vollmer, 2nd, Marshall Johnson in 3rd, Duranko 4th, JP Burns in 5th, Justin Diltz 6th, Bobby Terrell 7th, Richard Tucker 8th, Ryan Chapman 9th, and 10th place, the first truck 1 lap down, the 23 of Brody Hanna.
Top 20, Cody McKinney, Charlotte's winner, and what was the points leader, comes home 11th, just shy of a top 10. Richie Coy, what could have been P12 tonight for him. Mark Brannigan Jr., the rookie, solid run for him tonight, P13. Sherwood Williford, 7 spots dropped from where he started. He finishes 14th. Sylvain Jolly, 15th. Stephen Allen, 16th. Austin Gassion finishes 17th. Brandon Elder, a guy who was a big what-if tonight, comes home 18th. Fury Motorsports driver who had a tough night after leading a little bit earlier on, Tony Solari, 19th. And Michael Blackner in the 22 machine rounds out the top 21 lap down.
21st, Tyler Granat. 22nd, Tommy Schaefer. 23rd, Stephen Loomis. 24th, Tyler Brown. 25th, Kyle Milliken. 26th, James Torrey. And Joseph McKinney only ran 4 laps tonight, finishes last place in 27th. We're going to kick it to full screen commercial break, gather our surprising top 3 here tonight, and be back momentarily to get a word with them. And back live here for the Martin Sports post-race show. We're going to bring in our top 3 to talk to them to see how this final 20-25 laps was settled between these guys who were not up front in the top 5 all race long, and then here they are from one caution to completely change this entire game up. First and foremost, the number 9 of Marshall Johnson. We're going to bring him into the booth. Marshall, this is Jeremy from the TV. You got a copy?
I do, Jeremy.
Man, that I don't know if you expected to be in the top 3, but that caution just completely flipped the script on this entire event, and you bring it home in 3rd place. So the late pit strategy worked in your favor for sure. So congratulations on getting it to podium, man. Walk us through your night in that number 9.
Oh man, yeah, a 3rd place for me in this league is like a win for sure. So ecstatic about that. Really had a great qualifying run. So started up front and ended up getting sent to the back with I had pit strategy burned me in the beginning where I didn't pit when everybody else did, and I drifted to the back. But um, I think there was 80 some laps to go when we went green at one point, and I was not going to ever pit. I wasn't going to pit at all. I had enough fuel to make it, and if there was one other that could make it on that strategy, I was going to be surprised. So I was looking really good until that last caution where you said it flipped on the side, and but it still worked out for me to get a top 3.
Yeah, Marshall, great job tonight, man. Finishing P3. First time I'm getting to talk to you. And the reason I know that, I was just telling these guys before we came back, is I had to change your volume here on Discord. But hey, man, you come home 3rd tonight. You were sitting 18th in the points coming into this. This has got to be a really, really big race for you. Big points day. How do you take this momentum from 3rd? You talk about this is basically a win for you. How do you take this into Nashville going into next week?
Yeah, I think I can run well on a super speedway like that too. So just got to stay out of trouble. Still trying to earn the respect of a lot of the drivers, and trying to keep it clean.
A great strategy there, man, and yeah, continue it, man. It's only going to pay dividends for you as the season progresses, and wish you the best of luck the rest of the way through. But before we let you go, the floor is yours. Who would you like to thank tonight?
So I had done some practicing a few days during the week, and my setup was extremely horrible. So old teammate of mine, Money Mike, he sent me a setup right before practice, and I could see it was a lot better than what I had. So big shout out to Money Mike for a great setup.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations once again on bringing home 3rd place, and we will catch you next week. Well, actually, 2 weeks. I think we're off next week, so we'll catch you in 2 weeks here at Nashville.
Thank you guys. Thanks for what you do at Nerda Dudes.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And that was the driver, the number 9 Toyota Tundra, Mr. Marshall Johnson. And now it's time to bring in second place finisher, Mr. Curtis Vollmer. Curtis, you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, congratulations on second place. Awesome job. Before I get to my actual question, Mr. Jason needs clarification. Is it Vollmer for your last name pronunciation?
Vollmer, that is correct. That is the first time I've heard somebody say it correctly.
Can you tell me how
Vollmer.
incorrectly is it pronounced? How can you pronounce it incorrectly?
Vollmer or Volmar or whatever. I've heard all kinds of different ways, but you're the first one to hit Vollmer. That's what it is, Vollmer.
It's a W, baby. That's
Yeah.
a W.
Excellent, man.
Yep.
Very
Anyways,
good.
yeah, it was an awesome race tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed that show.
Probably one of the best races I've seen in 2023 in the real world or the virtual world. That was just so much 3 wide, 4 wide, switching, and just the tire situation, and of course that caution on lap 25, which just flipped the script, everything. So, what was your thoughts going through your head when that caution came out?
Yeah, the Samson Motorsports 48 was fast. Elevated Esports here. We had a strategy going into the deal tonight, and we kind of stuck with it. And we kind of there at the end, we were actually in bad shape, if I'm not gonna lie. And we were gonna just eat our Wheaties. We were just like, well, we're gonna either make it happen, or we're gonna have a horrible finish. And it really played out to our hand. I mean, that caution at the end was huge, because we were dead in the water. We had an extra tire set. We were saving for the end there to hope something was going to happen, but we were just getting ready to take that set home. And then that caution came out, and it couldn't help us more. And then we got out front and had them 4 or 5 older laps on the tires, and TJ and Marshall, and they ended up TJ ended up passing me there. I was giving her all I could, but damn, what a hell of a race.
Yeah, Curtis, you guys had one hell of a race. Me and Jeremy and our producer Dustin in the booth, we were having a great time calling all the action, looking at all the camera angles. But man, you started nearly dead end of the pack. The caution helped you, man. I mean, and we were just talking to Marshall Johnson. He was talking about how he wants the respect of the guys over the FTSR, and here you are, you're a rookie, man. And that's basically, I believe, if I'm correct by the stat book, this is your second top 10 of the season now. How do you take this? I asked Marshall, and then you go into Nashville in a couple weeks. How do you take this momentum and a good points day like this and transfer it over into the next race?
Well, I mean, I couldn't be happier with all my teammates, making it all happen. I mean, we're ready to rock. We're coming out the chute good, strong. If you look at Charlotte, our one bad finish, and that was because we were going to race there for the lead with the fresh tires. We started third, with 5 to go, whatever, 10 to go, and there was a car that stayed out and lifted and got us all sideways, and then I tried to save it, and then it was over from there. But other than that, we should have 3 top 5s, if not top 10s for sure. But we're coming out the gate strong. Elevated Esports is looking good this season, and I'm happy to be a part of it and join those guys and see what happens. I'm excited. It's the 48's looking strong.
Definitely a great group of guys to be a part of, man. Congratulations, though, on
runner-up. You can't even. I mean, strategy. It was huge tonight.
Yes.
And going into the rest of the seasons here, look forward, for all these gentlemen here at the Elevated Esports to make it happen, because we got a good group down there, and a lot of smart guys, and making different calls. Different strategies out on the field, and you're going to see it. If we can get these things go green, it'll be interesting and really cool to see all these different strategies that different teams do and come into play. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of this league, and you guys broadcast. You guys do a great job up there in the booth, and
thank you.
Everybody that puts this on. It takes an army. You can't do this, with just a few guys. So I appreciate you guys taking your time and do what you do, so we can have fun.
Yeah, appreciate all those words, man. Yeah, just carry that momentum, man. I'm gonna be excited to watch that 48 go on the track all season long.
Absolutely, baby. Yeah, you better watch out. All the competition better watch out. 48 is here.
You heard it. Watch out for that 48, Mr. Curtis Vollmer. Man, congratulations again. We'll see you in 2 weeks, rather.
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We got, special shout out to Frank the Tank, making all the calls up there on the pit box. My pit crew. Yeah, they did a great job tonight. But my crew chief, Frank the Tank, awesome job. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. And that was the very ecstatic there, Mr. Curtis Vollmer in the 48, setting the standard for the rest of the season. But now it's time, Jason, to bring in our race winner. We're going to load up the Martin Sports victory lane for the number 75, TJ Bartell. Do you have a copy?
Sure do.
Man, congratulations on the victory. I know you didn't see that coming until about 25 to go when that caution came out, flipped everything over. What a huge storyline to end this race. So what was your thoughts, and what did you have to do to get that W?
Well, it's funny because in practice I just was so slow and I couldn't find, I just couldn't make the truck go. And so I went back and got an old setup that I've sort of run before, and I just kind of threw it in there and just messed with the brake bias a little bit, and I just went with it. And I didn't know if it would be good or not. And the first run, I started, moving forward nicely, and the longer it ran, it seemed like the better I got. So I was, thinking I might get a good top 10 out of it.
TJ, man, hell of a drive tonight, man. Seriously, you guys definitely earned it. I mean, to take down Fury Motorsports, we were talking all race long before that, that detrimental caution came out. Fury Motorsports, man. And then you guys pulled the strategy, stayed out on those lap 106 tires. You got that caution, and then it just played into your favor, man. You got past Curtis. Obviously, he had a hell of a race tonight as well, man, but you guys did as well. I mean, to have that win now in the season, how does it feel now knowing going into 2 weeks' time, going into Nashville, that you had the strategy call? You had some speed, by the way. We saw earlier on you had some speed, and now you go into Nashville in a couple weeks, man. How does this win play into going on for the rest of the season for you?
Well, it's so fulfilling to get a win here because it's so hard to come by. I couldn't even tell you when I won the last race here. The competition's so steep. So, our strategy worked out really well. The truck was really solid, and hopefully, I like Nashville, so hopefully that'll give us some momentum going in there. We can have a really good run there, but get to enjoy the win for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, 100% there. You got that extra week just to reminisce and work on Nashville. But congratulations once again. You're going to be one of only 2 drivers through the first 3 races to have 2 top 5s. So congratulations on that as well. But the floor is yours. Who would you like to thank before we let you go this evening?
Thanks, Jeremy. I appreciate it. Got to thank Martin Sports for sponsoring this series. They do a lot for us and help us to put this show together. And thank Nerditudes. You guys do a great job. I can't wait to go back and watch this one. Always enjoy it. Hats off to you guys for what you do. Really makes this so awesome to be able to go back and watch these races. And FTSR, Brody, all the admins, all my fellow racers. This place is tough to have good finishes in. There's just so much competition here. It's really awesome to get a win. Sim Racing Points, thanks to those guys for being on the truck, and thank you to my wife for putting up with me. You didn't hear it, but when the first time I scraped the wall, there was a little blue air in the race room, so hopefully she's not too mad. And since I finally got a win, I'd like to dedicate this win to my late son, Evan.
Well, there we go. And excellent. Yeah, to dedicate that first win for sure, man. But congratulations again. Just carry this momentum all season long. Can't wait to see the 75 to the rest of 2023B.
Thank you, guys. I really, really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Of course.
And that was TJ Bartell, the driver of the 75 machine. And Jason, that was the top 3. What is your thoughts? This race was crazy.
I tell you what, man. Curtis Vollmer, I wore the right sweatshirt tonight. I got my Alex Bowman 48 sweatshirt on, man. Look at Dustin. Dustin's sweating, man. Walter White had way too much work going on. I'm sorry, Walter, that you had to put up with all of us tonight, man. But wow, what hey now. What a barn burner, man. This was such a hell of a race to watch. 2, 3, 4, nearly 5 damn wide at one point. These boys over at the FTSR, they mean business. Curtis Vollmer, what a run for him tonight. What could have been story, and what could have been story too for the Fury Motorsports drivers. They friggin' dominated this race practically. And to have a caution come out during a green flag cycle, have 8 trucks on the lead lap there at the end. That was huge. A lot of guys are going to be carrying a lot of momentum here. They got 2 weeks time before we head to Nashville Super Speedway. That is a very tough racetrack. Totally different drivability from Iowa to Nashville Super Speedway. What a drive by TJ Bartel. What a drive by a lot of guys. A lot of heartbreak tonight. We had everything. We had drama, wrecks, crazy finish. Everything you could want in the FTSR for the Martin Sports Truck Series. I mean, what a night. What a finish. What a win. Storyline galore. We're going to have a lot to talk about going to Nashville.
Yeah, 100%. How you feeling over there, Dustin? Got all the sweat wiped off and
Yeah, I'm dry now.
Cameras.
Yeah, I'm dry now. I mean, I tell you what, these boys, they kept me busy. You guys kept me busy, but I wouldn't have it any other way, because if I'm busy, that means that the action's hot. So that's what we like. You know, Jason said it best. I mean, this race had everything. This is why I freaking love Iowa. Just like Richmond, tracks like that, they always put on some amazing races. The 3 and the 4 wide race, and I mean lap after lap, and I mean no contact there at the end for the last 20 laps. I mean, holy shit, mind blown. I mean, especially a 7/8 mile track, there's not much room here. There's really not. I mean, super awesome for TJ Bartel to get that win. Obviously, a very emotional win, dedicating that to his late son. So it was amazing for him to be able to get that and to dedicate that. So, you know, I'm super happy and super proud for him and that team and his family on that. I didn't think that there was anybody that could match Richie Coy's energy in the booth, but holy crap, Vollmer, man, I don't know. The 48 is here to stay, and I don't know who Frank the Tank is, but I tell you what, I'm digging Frank the Tank. So it was a good race all around.
I feel like everyone in his stable has a nickname. You had Money Mike, you had Frank the Tank. I wonder how many guys are helping him get around.
Vollmer gained a fan tonight, man. I am a fan of Curtis Vollmer.
It's like the Muppets for iRacing. That's
yes,
what it is.
Absolutely. Dude, oh my gosh, dude. He's the most ecstatic guy I've ever seen in the booth. I'm so glad I wore my 48 sweatshirt. Obviously, Bowman, he was driving a Jimmy Johnson paint scheme, but that man, hey, another storyline real quick before we go and get off the air. That 48 and Elevated Esports, man, that's all it takes. That's all it takes is momentum and confidence, man. Watch them. I guarantee you they are going to be competing with Fury Motorsports. Maybe not now, maybe not mid-season, but towards the tail end of the season. I would not be surprised if Elevated Esports and that 48 group have not one, maybe 2, maybe 3 or more wins.
Yeah, huge win for that team. And I'm going to have to agree with you. They're going to step it up here over the next several weeks and toward the end of the season. It's going to be a great show for everyone to watch, and I'm definitely really looking forward to that. But yeah, it is time to bring this thing to a close. I'm going to thank all of our partners one last time, as always, that we do. Full Throttle Sim Racing, just appreciate you for letting us do this for over a year and a half now. Hopefully we can continue this for longevity through 2023 and beyond. Mach 1 Performance, the Monday Series sponsorship. It's a local racing shop that produced champions of all sorts of racing divisions. So if you have a local race car and you just want to get some repairs done, look no further than Mach 1 Performance, and find them on Facebook at Facebook.com/Mach 1 Performance. Sim Racing Points, your league points management system that allows you to completely track your stats and everything else in between that you need to do to make your website looking professional for your league. So head over to simracingpoints.com and check out their pricing plans. Martin Sports, top quality apparel to make you look stylish and feel comfortable. And see their whole apparel lineup at martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag, your notifications fractions of a second faster without ever leaving your focus from the racing action. Find them at iRacingIFlag.com. Butt Kicker, the haptic response system. You have to put this thing in your sim rig. You feel all the different bumps and feels from the racetrack directly in your seat. It's one of a kind product. Find them at thebuttkicker.com. Team Watson Racing setups. I already shouted them out once. I love to shout them out again. They have some of the best oval racing setups on the market and at a good price point. TeamWatsonRacing.com. And lastly, Roasted Gems. Start your day the right way from coffee beans roasted just for you at roastedgems.com. We're going to close this thing out tonight. We're going to find you out Monday for the Mach 1 Performance, guys. Take it to Sonoma before we head off to a week break. You guys, until then, stay safe and to always get your nerd on.